not just political, it's also economic. It's not just economic, but it's also personal. Now, the thing about freedom, though, is I'm going to take it from John 8. They said, we are sons of Abraham, and we've never been in bondage to any man. That's what they said. They said, we are children of Abraham. So some people believe that because of their heritage, they are free. And Jesus says, well, he who commits sin is a slave of sin. So sometimes you can be a slave to what you do, to your desires, to your habits, to your tendencies. You can be a slave to your how do I even call it? The way you see the world can limit you. You can be a slave to that. You can be a slave to a political ideology. You can be a slave to a theory. A friend of mine said, I study all theories, but I'm a slave of none. I am a pragmatist. Some people have held on to their economic ideas, and they think that being free means you can do anything you want. Now, there is a boundary to every mass. Everything has a limit. So Ghana, don't think that because you can say anything on air, you can do anything, you can urinate anywhere, you can set up a shop anywhere. Ghana, you can do anything. You go to Togo and ask Sky if you can do some things there. You can't. But here you can sell. You can go to the motorway and start selling rice. They'll just look at you and wave at you. So it's actually our misunderstanding of freedom that has bound us. So we need to appreciate that to be free, we must sometimes surrender our will to doing foolish things. Indiscipline is not freedom. There's a difference between being in discipline and being free. In Ghana, you can do anything goes. You can put a house on a billboard and say you are selling it in dollars, and put it in front of the Bank of Ghana, and they'll look at you. You can go to Daily Graphic and happily say you can do anything. That's why we are not going forward. Sometimes we have to know that there is a limit. A friend of mine wrote on his structure, I grow on the limit. I grow on the limit. So that's the message for the morning. Don't think freedom means you can do anything and just be fooling around. You can come to play, work at any time. Nobody will ask you any question. You can do anything. One of the reasons why we are not developing is we are too free. We do too many foolish things. Okay. It says, if you sin, you are a slave to sin. So the fact that you are doing something doesn't mean you are free. You're actually a slave to that thing you are doing. So let's stop misbehaving. I was driving a car and somebody was just throwing something. Like, I think he ate some, I don't know. And under no pressure, the guy just dropped the rubber on the road and continued with his drive. Nobody arrested him. So he thinks he's free. He doesn't know he's a fool. You know the problem. You drop a whole rubber on the road under no pressure and say, oh, you are free. You are not free. You are foolish. So let's think. The fact that we can do anything we want. I was driving somewhere and somebody had laid vegetables near the roadside and was selling. Free. But is that the place to sell? No, but Charlie, Ghana, everybody is free. It's a free country. So this morning, they say, Vovo, man. Please, let's think. One of the reasons we are not going for it is we think we are free. So we are doing anything we like. If you are doing foolish things and nobody's arresting you, that doesn't mean you are free. That's why you can't go forward. You know that if you want to do well as a student, you have to give away your freedom. You are free to sleep anytime you want, but you have to give up that freedom so you wake up and study. You are free that you can go to lectures in a university. When you go to Lagos, if I don't go for lectures, you can do anything you want. But when exam come, you regret that freedom. It will finish you. So this morning I came with a message. Let's not be foolish. Let's understand freedom. Freedom doesn't mean you can do anything you want. The black man is capable of managing his own affairs. I agree. Sometimes Sky says it means you can mismanage your own affairs. Fine, nobody should hold you, but don't be foolish. Use your freedom to do better things. That's the message. So this morning we are not doing anything. Just use your freedom to do better things. A word to the wise. It's in the north. All right, so that was Business Sense, brought to us by ADB. Yesterday I met 3 people from ADB at a program.
Okay.
They listen to this show a lot.
Oh, beautiful.
So ADB,
God bless them.
Thank you for sponsoring this my freedom broadcast.
Freedom.
Shut up.
We are doing
You've chewed that thing.
Oh, I think
we should make the speech. You know, one of the things I used to do, I used to recite speeches.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should make reciting increment speech a prerequisite for graduation.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure say the other people go
Oh,
out.
but yesterday,
The other founders.
yesterday, Kweku Dankwa said to the
It's only the debate.
he said you can't use the founding date of your party to say it's the birth of Ghana. Yeah, no, yesterday, you know, when he raised the UGCC and then he removed the chair from under them. You know, he raised them to the head in the heavens. Then when he removed the chair,
Are you going to play us?
I will play. I've never heard. You know, usually when there's a debate, usually Ghana we shout and then we move.
Yes.
Yesterday, Kweku Dankwa, in my view,
He settled the matter.
because yesterday I asked him to explain what the Big Six was. He went through who each of them was.
That's right. Where they went to
Obeche
school,
Bilamte,
what they
Akwaje,
did.
what they did, their achievements,
Those in
everything.
the UK,
Then he
those
said,
did
okay,
lawyer.
they did very well for Ghana. But if you want to talk about Gold Coast, let's start from those who began, Aborigines' rights.
That's right.
He said, if we are going to say UGCC is the 4th August, then let's rather go to the Aborigines' rights. Then he says, because all of that doesn't make sense, let's come to what the nation is.
Yes.
A nation,
Ghana presently constituted.
treaties, Transvolta Togoland, Northern Territories, Ashanti. The name, when you bring it together, there's only one man.
That's right.
His name is Call Me.
Call me Nkrumah.
That's all. When he finished, we just turned off the mic and went to sleep.
Mic drop.
Charlie. So we are waiting for the response.
We're good at
Yeah, it's a big one.
I told you this thing on Tuesday.
Hey.
For this conversation, unless you want to be disingenuous,
I'm telling you.
really,
It's finished.
It's good to have the debate.
Yes.
Yes.
But in the end, once you have it, if you look at all the facts, and I always say this, the most important thing, which our politicians these days must learn, all those people, they wrote their thoughts down.
They're there.
Their memoirs were available. Their letters were there. So you know exactly what they stood for.
So it's not like
You can't hide.
you can't change it.
You can't hide it.
So he says there are multiple records.
You can't hide it.
Support the argument that Kwame Nkrumah
Charlie.
is the founder of
yesterday.
Ghana as presently constituted.
Me, I slept. After I finished, no, I slept.
You put your blanket around your neck
it's okay,
and you felt tucked
You
in.
do everything. In fact, the way he ended, I was
Hey, you
even
say
shocked.
Kweku Yafe?
Because me, I even thought he was praising the team.
Yeah, that's sometimes how they write judgment. You'll be hearing the thing, you're just happy.
At the end, no, they. Charlie.
However, when you hear however, then Charlie almost in shamble.
No.
In spite of the foregoing,
In fact, yesterday,
He did the Institute of African Studies proud.
yesterday, I said history is good,
Oh, yes.
and he remembers the names.
Yeah, that's
Tamaklo,
right.
Nikwa, Boni,
where they did
Kisley
their
Hayford,
pupillage and all of that.
De Graaf Johnson. I mean, the names, the details, the dates.
This
The
one is
circumstances
the
of their-
chofi. You are doing chofi.
And you know, the interest, you know, yes, I alluded to it a couple of days. The circumstances of the arrest of the Big Six.
He said they went for some central committee meeting,
Yes.
and the key guys were not even in Accra.
Accra, yeah.
Now, some were in Takrady and things. So when they, it's like maybe they want to arrest, and when they came, it was
Caleb was
Caleb
there.
and Nathan, and then Godfred, and they said they are the big.
The big three.
And they wanted to deny. Nkrumah said, let's own this thing. Let's own this thing,
So
that
at the
we are the
moment-
ones behind the
Anyway,
problem.
so by the way, let me finish paying my
But,
bills.
you know, it's what it is.
Let me
History
finish
is
paying my bills.
divisive.
So the what I did early, the freedom thing I did, was sponsored by ADB. Now the second point is that this thing you are coming to do, somebody has to sponsor it, otherwise you won't be paid. So let's relax. Now it's brought to us by Total Excellium. It's a 3-in-1 formula where the oil cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. And thanks to its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives, it gives your car a perfect drive. And of course, Fidelity Bank has new products for new desires, whether it's a laptop, a phone, a fridge, whatever you want. We have a consumer-attached finance product. If you want to own a house, we have the Fidelity, home loans. And of course, if you want a car as well, it's the Fidelity Auto Loan. Call 0800 00 3355. Let's start with the Daily Graphic because the front page story.
Well, the president has tightened the grip on public lands, according to the front page of the paper.
This was from yesterday,
Yes,
actually.
presidential approval now needed for sale, transfer. I'll give you details.
They must
Yes.
include Achimota.
Yes.
That's the main thing. That's the main issue. They have to add Achimota for us to this story. That's all.
Before the yesterday, a friend of mine told me about one of these
Affordable housing.
that somebody bought a whole block and has turned it into a hotel. I was like, how is that even possible?
How do you turn a block of an apartment into a hotel
Has turned it into a hotel.
within another compound where other people are
At
staying?
whatever.
I hope it's not sure.
There's net flats there. No? Somebody bought a whole block and turned it
To a hotel within the enclave.
Charlie. Anyway, introduce broad-based toll system, Dr. Baumia, to road sector stakeholders. We need $271 billion to expand roads. Finance Minister.
Is this 271 billion or 27 billion?
No, he's saying that to meet the overall infrastructure gap.
I see.
That doesn't mean he is going to need it. He can't do it.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times. Security services recruitment. Enlistment must be transparent. Comes with a photograph of Professor Vladimir Enchidanso, who is saying only qualified persons have to be recruited. Also on the front page this morning, Ghana receives $155 million in World Bank support to restore degraded coastal areas. Pualogu Dam $12 million payment issue will hold those responsible accountable. This is coming into from former President John Dramani Mahama. And government awards contracts to relatives, friends through sole sourcing. Sami Jemfi is making that allegation.
The front page of the Daily Guide that confirmed ghost chases Mahama. Security beefed up in Myon over clashes. The Vice President is on the front page of the paper talking about road tolls. And Joe Garte Committee submits Black Shield report to Parliament.
The Chronicle says Baumia proposes a radical reform of road tolling system. There's a quote here that says, it appears we are tolling the poor and leaving the rich and affluent to enjoy. Persons who live in places such as East Legon, Cantonments, Ridge, and Laboni don't pay any tolls, but they have some of the best roads in Ghana. Also, CJ opens debt recovery court to tackle rising case backlog. We heard that yesterday. And no candidate, political party is superior to the will of the people. This is coming from President Akufo-Addo.
I'll take you to the front page of the Inquisitor this morning, Bernard. They have a lot of good stories. Over 500 houses destroyed by tidal waves in Shama and Low Beach community. You see the photos. NDC pummels Baumia over brothers overpriced sole source contracts. On the UK protest, Ghanaians are safe, according to the High Commissioner Papa Wusu Ankuma. That's good to know. PBC Limited workers demonstrate over unpaid salaries. Inflation likely to exceed 20% by year end, according to Data Bank research.
The New Finder says economic outlook promising, but inflation, exchange rate stabilization remains significant challenges. This is according to ISE. Also, rethinking Ghana's entrepreneurial landscape, a call to action for senior executives. Another story, small-scale mining generates $1.7 billion in 6 months, and government touts long list of infrastructure projects in the Greater Accra region. And something I care so much about, reliable data is the new gold to drive Ghana's digital economy. This coming in from Moses Baden, who is the Chief Executive of Margins.
And finally from me, Bernard, the front page of the BNFT on the GEF, Ghana Economic Forum 2024, starts today. High-level discussions on economic transformation begin today. Government's domestic borrowing to rise further in the second half of 2024.
Let me take you to the Vanguard. 4 years after cutting the sword, Otumfuo livid over Buankra port. It looks like the people are not finishing the thing. Also, Senyo Hosi ignites debate on Founders Day. And you know, there's so much trouble in the UK. We're told Ghanaians in the UK are safe. This according to the High Commissioner to the UK, Papa Owusu and Koma, and Baumia to outdoor MPP's transformation agenda. If you go to the Daily Post newspaper, Baumia exposed again he sole-sourced contracts worth millions of Ghana cedis to his brother. Comes with a photograph of Sami Jemfi. Also, your destiny is bigger and greater than iPhone 15. Don't sell your destiny for a phone. Autobill is charging the youth.
CitiNewsroom.com. Economic challenges are due to high exchange rate. This is Isse. Also, reject Mahama. He can only serve for 4 years. This is Baumia. CTAC strike. We don't intend to close down schools according to GTech. And meanwhile, Minority questions COCOBOT's 3.4 billion CD head office expenditure amid other challenges. These are very interesting times. Yesterday it was CPC, today is COCOBOT. In fact, still in the cocoa sector, angry PBC workers demand removal of management members. We need to talk about this today, the whole sector and the challenges they're facing. No guinea fowl flew to Burkina Faso, Mahama on infamous Aconfirm saga. In other stories, locked up investment holders hit streets again over unpaid funds. And another quick one here before I move to another website. IEA schedules presidential debates for October and November, although NDC says they will not participate. Major Online Speaker recalls Parliament to sit September 3. Are you growing the cocoa in your office? Minority takes on cocoa board over 3.4 billion CD head office cost. And then DRIP initiative is Mohammed's brainchild. He brought it in 2016 according to the minority. So many people arguing over this matter. Then let's go into another one. Kojo Asante says, lax approach to holding public officers accountable makes politicians get away with murder. That's a very interesting story. And then if you go global, we are told that successful night Met police chief says after mostly peaceful rallies across England. There's a lot of things happening in the UK with riots and things like this. So those are the headlines. Maybe let's start with you, Sky. What do you want to do for us?
Well, many people are worried about the situation with our nationals in the UK. Perhaps maybe I should just quickly draw your attention since you just read that headline. The story is in the Vanguard newspaper of this morning, page 3. It says Ghanaians in the UK are safe, and it says the Ghanaian community actually in the UK remains largely unaffected by the ongoing protests, according to Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, Papa Owusu Ankoma. Now, this is after protests broke out late last month after an anti-immigrant misinformation campaign stoked outrage following a stabbing incident that left 3 children dead in Southport, north of England. Now, the UK's Crown Prosecution Service said on Tuesday that prosecutors have already charged around 100 people over the violent unrest. Now, the gatherings ostensibly started as anti-immigration marches and quickly turned disorderly and violent. Well, there's a quote here from our representative that says, except for one incident where a Ghanaian reported being threatened while taking a bath, there have been no reports of any untoward incidents affecting Ghanaians in the UK, the High Commissioner stated.
Let's hope the people continue to be safe. Exchange rate is the cause of our economic challenges. ISA is saying this. They've been speaking pretty strongly in the past couple of days about the economy. This one from Daniel Odro-Mensah says the ISA at the University of Ghana has attributed rising labor agitations, high business costs, and the collapse of some businesses to the very high foreign exchange rate and inflation. The findings is sourced from the Institute's assessment of a recent media budget presented by Finance Minister. According to the report, the currency depreciation is probably the largest reason why companies are struggling and labor agitations are increasing. Godfred.
Let me tell you about state lands and what the president is doing about it on the front page of the Daily Graphic. One of the boxing writes that Cabinet has instructed all public institutions in possession of public lands to desist from selling or transferring them to third parties without authorization from the president. The director further advised the public not to enter into contracts with any public institution for the transfer of land which had not been expressly authorized by the president. The directive, which is meant to protect public lands from being used other than the public purposes for which they were allocated for such institutions, was given by Cabinet during its 76th meeting held on July 18 this year.
I think we should amend the laws, not to leave it in the hands of the president entirely. It should be something that Parliament should scrutinize because they are misbehaving.
A president can come and decide to do what he wants. Now let me go to Cocoa Board. So yesterday we talked about PBC. This story is on multiple websites. I'll use the Joy Online version because I like the headline.
Okay.
Are you growing the cocoa in your office? Minority takes on Cocoa Board over 3.4 billion CD head office costs. Now, Minority in Parliament has raised concern about the management of Ghana Cocoa Board, criticizing the rising administrative expenditure amid declining cocoa production. According to the caucus, cocoa production dropped to 655,000 tons over the last 4 years, while Cocoa Board's head office expenditure surged to approximately 3.4 billion cedis in the same period. During an interaction with journalists in Accra on Wednesday, August 7, the ranking member, Eric Opoku, expressed this concern. He criticized Cocoa Board for allegedly misusing funds that should be paid to farmers and questioned if Cocoa Board was being grown or question if cocoa was being grown at the office. He urged Cocoa Board to be more prudent in their expenditure and focus on the well-being of the farmers. Now, I think it's an interesting point. In the same period that production is going down, costs are rising. And this cost rising, it's not just Cocoa Board. A lot of government institutions cost escalate. If you go
the
to
Bank of Ghana, which is costing us so much money, if they are building a new multi-million dollar,
And if you read Toby Afede's article on the cost per employee of the Bank of Ghana is very high. Now, while all this is going on,
PBC,
Produce Buying Company is struggling and the workers are angry.
I have that on page 3 of the Inquisitor. Workers of the Produce Buying Company of Ghana have gathered at Abeka Junction in protest over unpaid salaries. The aggrieved workers are heading to the headquarters of the company in Jowulu, where they are expected to register their displeasure with management.
They are gathered there now.
Oh, yes, no,
this is
as of the time
yesterday,
of
as of the
reporting.
time.
So why not amend the story accordingly? Why is the paper suggesting as though the people are still there?
Well, but you know the point, right? And don't forget, yesterday we said CPC had also made the second year of consecutive loss. As of June this year, $9.4 million loss. CPC processes cocoa that PBC buys from Cocoa Board. So everybody in the chain is struggling.
Yesterday, I heard a voice on Citi FM. They were choking the leaders of the PBC giddy giddy. They say some of them are backbiting Baumia. They say he will lose the election. I say,
How does it go to do it?
Let me take you to the Chronicle. Baumia is proposing radical reform of road tolling. Maxwell Ofori writes on page 3 of the newspaper, the lead story, and says the flag bearer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, has proposed what he terms a radical reform of the road tolling system in Ghana. By that proposal, Dr. Baumia has opened a discussion on equity in the road tolling system in the country. Now, he argues that the current road tolling system favors people who live in plush areas as their roads are not tolled. Dr. Baumia could not fathom the situation where people living in and around Kaswa and those in Termina Shaiman, for instance, should pay road tolls for the use of the motorway and the Kaswa stretch. However, those in cantonments, Ridge and East Legon,
They don't pass through any
which
toll.
are considered expensive areas, enjoy some of the best roads that we do have in the country and do not pay
He also
any tolls.
spoke about a congestion charge, which I thought was an interesting charge.
Yeah, that's
now,
right.
at the same program, he
Yes,
said that
because-
we require
okay.
$12 billion
Okay.
to clear the road maintenance backlog. And I think you read a different version of that.
Yes, and
where-
I have the finance minister also saying on page 16 of the Daily
Same
Graphic,
event.
yes, that we need $271 billion to expand roads.
It's a very serious amount.
Yes, according to him, the targets just captured in the Ghana Infrastructure Plan is also to increase paved roads to 70% while linking urban areas with multi-lane carriageways and constructing long-span bridges across the
Now, this was
Volta
at
Lake.
the Ghana Highway Authority's 50th anniversary. You know, the authority was founded in 1974.
Okay.
That was the same year that we started driving on the right.
Nifa.
Yeah, some of them say, hey, you are the people who have been talking about the roads every day.
They were,
You were there?
they were giving you
I
side
was
eye.
doing Galamsey.
That's for you.
Romantic side
They were
eye.
looking at me and say, this is
That's for
every
you.
morning road. So I said this week I'll wait. Tomorrow I'll come back to the road.
Talking about roads, but if you go to page 4 of the
Yeah.
Ghanaian Times, this morning they dedicated their editorial to roads, and they say Sisala, other areas need good roads. And if you go to
You know, Sisala produces some of our maize. In fact,
Exactly.
it's
A lot-
probably
a lot of maize.
the enclave of maize production in Ghana. And yet the roads are so bad.
yeah, that's right. So they said in the concluding paragraph, they say that the DRIP is meant to facilitate the free movement of goods and services, enhance easy transportation of farm produce to market areas, and open new markets for farmers. Just yesterday, the municipal chief executive for Ketu South, Mr. Maxwell Lugudo, said,
Lukuto,
is it?
Lukuto.
Lukuto, okay, yes. I said at Denutoko in the Volta region that the DRIP is not a political gimmick, but a game changer to transform Ghana. It is the hope of every Ghanaian that so will it be, because the country needs a good road network to boost development. They say.
All right, let me take you to a community story, Bernard, on the Inquisitor that I think needs more attention. Over 500 houses destroyed by tidal waves in Shama and Anlo Beach community. Residents of Anlo Beach community in the Shama district of the Western region are living in fear as their homes and livelihoods are being threatened by strong tidal waves that are gradually eroding their community into the ocean. Over 500 houses have been swept away, leaving many residents displaced and without a place to sleep. And I think Channel 1 News did some really good work on this. And I want to link this to a situation that is happening in my area as well. Dansoma Beach Road.
What's happening?
Where the same thing, the tidal waves is basically sweeping away the Beach Road community. And you know, these are some of the oldest parts.
All right, let me take you to
Dansoma.
history. Akufo-Addo aired in Choosing August 4 as Founders Day historian. This is Kwekuda Akwankra, story on citinewsroom.com. It says a historian has criticized the president for selecting August 4 as Founders Day. An interview on the point of view, Kwekuda Akwankra described the president's decision as totally wrong, emphasizing that August 4 marks the formation of the UGCC and that several individuals lay the foundation by playing key roles in Ghana's independence before the emergence of the Big Six, stating that the president truncated their contribution by choosing August 4 to mark Founders Day. Here's a quote: "The president was totally wrong when he selected August 4. You state August 4, it means that you are truncating the work that others have done. Then he started mentioning the names. Let's look at March 8, 1897 as the formation of the Gold Coast, because that is where the Aborigines Rights Protection Society was founded to save the lands of our country. For me, I don't understand August 4. He recommended selecting a date that will unify citizenry rather than creating division, and warned that the date might be changed by future governments. So I think that was, I'll play excerpts. It was really interesting interview.
Senyo Hosi has also written an article.
No, Senyo's article was written 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. But
which
they have
has resurfaced
on
because
the front
of
page
this.
of the Vanguard. So if you're interested in that angle, please go to the Vanguard front page and get a copy and read for yourself. Now, if you go to page 3 of the Ghanaian Times, Bernard, there's a story there. While the rest of us are struggling to pay for the mess that is happening within ECG and related institutions, we are told that 4 people have been arrested and granted bail for stealing 400,000, worth of. Charlie, that's okay. So the story says 4 persons have been granted 400,000 bail by the Circuit Court, Accra, for allegedly stealing power from the Electricity Company of Ghana. And the names are mentioned here. Ernest Afachao. Wisdom. Semolonu. Ali Yakubu. And Radalin Shan. They pleaded not guilty to 7 counts of abetment of crime. And he goes on to give you some other. Please, let's stop doing the wrong thing. There are other stories here. Farmer gets 10 years for illegally possessing ammunition, and man jail 25 years for defiling 14-year-old girl.
Let me take you to page 11 of the Daily Graphic. Clergyman condemns prosperity gospel. Assess practice affects equitable wealth distribution. The overconcentration of church sermons on material wealth is breeding greedy and covetous individuals in the country. A senior pastor at Crossroads Community Church, Dr. Kwabena J. Dakwa Amano, has said that he said was affecting the equitable distribution of wealth and impoverishing more people at the expense of others, hence the need for churches to shift from what he described as the prosperity gospel. Quote, unfortunately, many churches are prosperity churches, and instead of teaching the true gospel, such as giving to the poor, they are rather teaching that one person can have as much as he wants, so long as it is God who is giving it to them. But the true gospel is about using one's blessings to help the less fortunate, not selfish accumulation. And then just a public service announcement here on page 5 on the Daily Graphic, because a lot of people might not know this. The U.S. Embassy in Accra has announced a transition to a new visa service provider, which will take effect on August 26, 2024, and will affect access to the current visa service providers' websites and services, which will cease operation on August 16.
I'm sure you've heard
2024.
that visa applications increased by over 900% or 300% over the past 2 years to the US.
In
So
fact,
lots of people are applying to the US for visas.
in fact, let me just mention that there's a beautiful article in the Ghanaian Times this morning talking about Jakpa, how people want to Jakpa and versus civic duty. Please, if you have the time, grab a copy of the Ghanaian Times and read that article.
All right.
Yeah, so the article is on page 7 of the Ghanaian Times. It says civic duty versus Jakpa. NCC's fight for Ghana's future. And it's a brilliant article by Abigail Ano. Some of the arguments many would disagree with, but it's a brilliant article, I think.
Meanwhile, the NDC is taking Baumia on. So let's put this together. Yesterday, the minority condemned the $34 million ambulance deal and asked that the OSP gets into the matter, and they accused the chief of staff of involvement. Now, yesterday, the NDC then accused the vice president of allowing his family members to benefit from what they call overpriced sole sourcing contracts. Addressing the NDC's Moment of Truth press conference in Accra yesterday, Sami Jemfi, who is the National Communications Officer, listed several issues on sole source contract awarded for phase 1 of the rehabilitation of the Seminani Airport at a cost of 52.2 million cedis to a company called Resource Access Limited. And he says this contract was doled out to Bamia's brother in 2019 without transparent or competitive process, he alleges. And then he lists a lot of things in that particular story. So, again, Special Prosecutor's name has been mentioned to get in. So, apart from the ambulance story, there's also this contract story that has come up, which has also generated some angst among the minority members.
And the government is also on a regional and town hall meeting campaign. You can find details of page 26. So if they do appear in your region, at the moment they're in Greater Accra, so you can go there and be a good citizen.
Now, let me give you something in the UK. So the UK problem is being attributed to many things, including disinformation.
A lot of it, actually.
And apparently there's a channel, the name of the channel is on way, Channel 3 Now, all right, has been identified as a website whose story, given a false name for a 17-year-old charged over the Southport attack, was widely quoted in viral posts on X. Channel 3 now also wrongly suggested the attacker was an asylum seeker who arrived in the UK by boat last year. This, combined with untrue claims that the attacker was a Muslim from other sources, has been widely blamed for contributing to riots across the UK, some of which have targeted mosque and Muslim communities.
Yes.
Now, the BBC has tracked down several people linked to Channel 3 now, spoken to their friends and colleagues who have corroborated that they are real people and questioned a person who claims to be the management of the site. And this appears to be a commercial operation attempting to aggregate crime news while making money on social media.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's a very seminal issue because
It's happening in our country too these days.
to use a platform to sort of generate a false story and then incite the public to cause a whole national riot. And you know, a lot of people believe what they see online.
Yes.
They won't question anything. So I think the way the British government handles this will be a clue to how many other countries go about this. Then BBC also another strange story, which I is strange because according to Joe Biden, he's not confident of a peaceful transition if Donald Trump loses.
Is he confident he's
No, let's listen to the story first. Bajiri, don't let your interest in Trump. This is a serious issue. This is USO, and this is BBC.
The man no hand over.
No, Bajiri. But you know what they did in the capital?
Oh, they did what they did. The people, he spoke to the crowd. The crowd decided to do their own thing.
Stop. Let me hear the story. US President Joe Biden has said he is not confident that there will be a peaceful transition of power.
We don't need his confidence.
No, why are you harassing me? If Donald Trump loses the election in November,
The man was prosecuted
let me
under
read
questionable
the
circumstances.
story.
Nothing has happened.
Why wouldn't you let us read the story about Donald Tusk? You're out of order.
You're out of order. In his first interview since he dramatically dropped out of the race last month, Mr. Biden told CBS News, quote, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. Trump means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All this stuff about if we lose, it will be a bloodbath. Mr. Trump's comment that if it will be a bloodbath for the country if he loses the election in March triggered a wave of criticism. Democrats were quick to reiterate their campaign message that the former president posed a threat to democracy, and the Biden campaign used the bloodbath comment in an ad. Sky, you can support somebody but not support foolishness. How can you say that?
Donald,
Let's not go there.
let's talk about
You have to.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
701 City Business News brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and Access Bank. Nash Shikasi has the news. Good morning, Na.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, 2024 inflation forecast revised upwards to 19.3% to 21.3%, surpassing the Bank of Ghana's target of 13.0% to 17.0%. Also coming up, General Agricultural Workers Union demands a scrapping of the government's flagship program, the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. And later, International Airport Transport Association reports significant increase in global passenger demand for June 2024. The details of our stories now. IC Research has revised its 2024 inflation forecast, raising it by 340 basic points to a new range of 19.3% to 21.3%. This sharp increase surpasses the Bank of Ghana's targets of 13.0% to 17.0%. We have more in the following Business Desk report.
This adjustment comes in response to anticipated inflationary pressures in the second half of 2024, despite potential mitigating effects from the food harvest expected in Q3 of 2024. The research firm cited the June 2024 inflation data, which revealed signs of divergence between food and non-food inflation, reminiscent of trends observed between May and July of the previous year. This divergence may lead to sustained inflationary pressures in the second half of 2024, particularly given the favorable base effect from the same period in 2023. The revised inflation forecast is influenced by new utility tariffs and higher ex-palm petroleum prices effective July 1, 2024. The third quarter of 2024 utility tariff review announced electricity hikes of 3.45% to 5.84%, with a revenue shortfall of over 900 million cedis to be recovered in subsequent quarters. These factors are expected to heighten inflationary pressures in the latter half of the year. Despite these concerns, inflation has been declining, with June 2024 marking the third consecutive month of reduction. The year-on-year inflation rate edged down by 30 basis points to 28.8%, while the month-on-month headline inflation also decreased by 30 basis points to 2.9% in June 2024.
That was a Business Desk report. Now, the International Airport Transport Association has reported a significant increase in global passenger demand for June 2024. According to the latest data, revenue passenger kilometers surged by 9.1% compared to the same period of June 2023. The following report has more.
The data indicates the total capacity measured in available seat kilometers rose by 8.5% year-on-year. The June load factor stood at 85% unchanged from June 2023. International demand saw a 12.3% rise compared to June 2023. Capacity was up 12.7% year-on-year, with the load factor slightly down by 0.3 percentage points to 85%. Domestic demand increased by 4.3% compared to June 2023. Capacity rose by 2.1% year-on-year, and the load factor improved by 1.7 percentage points to 85%. AITA's Director General Willie Walsh attributed the rise in demand to the start of the peak northern summer travel season in June. He urged stakeholders to operate with equal levels of efficiency to minimize delays and ensure timely arrivals for travelers.
That was a News Desk report. Moving on, the General Agricultural Workers Union GAWU wants the government to cancel the Planting for Food and Jobs Program Phase 2, describing it as a wasteful expenditure. The union explained that the policy since its launch in August last year has been bedeviled, with numerous challenges, including lack of transparency and accountability, affecting its smooth implementation. Here's more.
The Planting for Food and Jobs program Phase 2 was launched in August 2023 to enable farmers to take farm inputs on credit from sellers and pay after harvest. This is a significant change from the initial program launched in 2017, where there was a substitution of direct input subsidy with a smart agricultural financial support system in the form of a zero-interest input credit system, where payment would be in kind. The launch follows the commencement of registration of farmers on March 12 this year across all 16 regions and 261 districts of the country, with the aid of agricultural extension agents and other technical staff who had been trained to guide the registration process using a digital platform. However, stakeholders reveal that this process has been hindered by challenges, particularly a lack of access to tablets to facilitate the exercise, coupled with network issues. The General Agricultural Workers Union believes the policy should be cancelled due to a lack of transparency and accountability. Edward Karewe is the General Secretary.
I'm saying that I can see that it's also creating waste because it's not transparent, it's not accountable. So anything that is not transparent in Ghana and people, the public officials are not ready to come out and explain to the people what it is, then it means they are hiding something. And embedded in that silence is the waste. So we are no more new to things of this nature. So why not? It should be cancelled.
Meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Bakbara Tanko, denied assertions the PFJ2 is fraught with several inconsistencies that do not favor farmers.
Across the country, we have what we call aggregators. We assign aggregators to these farmers. No way we can bypass that system and give farmers under the PFJ 2.0. If it is the case they are saying it is the selection process is going to be biased, I beg to differ.
You heard the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Bakbara Tanko, ending that report filed by my colleague Daniel Ojo Mensah. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is urging the government to enforce fair trade practices to help safeguard the interest of local industry. AGI said that Ghana possesses the local capacity to meet the demand for several imported goods, and the continued importation of some of these items undermines domestic production and economic growth. Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chumakwaba, spoke to Citi Business News on the issue.
Every country has some level of protection of its industry. So if you are an infant industry like us, because we are not that strong, you can actually have legal remedies to protect your industries a little bit. That's not a ban. It is ensuring that you are competitive in the market. And therefore, the way to be competitive is to reduce your cost of production. Have all the things that I talked about. Have it to the best possible minimum cost. Then it makes you competitive. The other aspect is that even if you have reduced costs, the laws of governing trade arrangement allows import duties, and every country does it. So Ghana, we also have import duties. So what we are asking is that if there's import duty on a product, indeed the importers can go ahead and import, but pay the right duties so the government can get the revenue they need.
Seth Chumakwaba is the CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has assured of government's commitment to position the manufacturing sector at the forefront of contributing to Ghana's economic growth.
Industry actually led the growth in the first quarter. 4.7% industry grew by 6.8%. I'm a man who gives attention to details. So I interrogated 6.8%. And I found that about 4.8% was coming from oil and gas, extractive industry. Is industry all right? But it's not manufacturing. But the good news was that manufacturing grew by about 2%, coming from a negative the year before. I want to see the second quarter data and the third quarter data to see whether manufacturing has turned around. And that is where I can be happy about the growth that we are achieving. But to ensure that manufacturing grows, I needed to use the mid-year budget to send that signal of where our attention should be. So first of all, we needed to address credit to the private sector.
Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is Minister of Finance. Now, on the Forex market today, the dollar could be sold to you at 15 cedis 85 pesos. The British pound could be sold to you at 20 cedis 10 pesos and the euro at 17 cedis 10 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Do have a great business day.
Good energy hits the road with exciting choices to energize your ride, giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice.
Goyle, yeah.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go. Everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you can't park where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My body, when you wake up in the morning, and you know the money calling. Oh, you go work. But you know it's out there your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's out there your side. And when you dream, no say I live by you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live for you. Many want. If I believe I live your side. Fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I lay your side, fidelity.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
15 after 7. You just heard the business news brought to you by Nashika Caesar. Kickoff is coming up next with the man Bernard Abeku-Ochre. What can you remember from 15 years ago? You had just bought your first mobile phone or sent a text message via the internet for the very first time, or just discovered the ease of moving money around conveniently. Think back to all those moments. Momo has been there for you, and guess what? Momo is 15 years already. From the very first time you sent money to a loved one, to paying your bills effortlessly, or enjoying the peace of mind that comes with secure, safe, and reliable transactions. Has been an amazing journey so far. Now, get ready for some mouth-watering offers as we celebrate Momo at 15. Look out for market storms and floats near you and win some mind-blowing prizes. Thank you, Ghana, for doing this with us. Download my Momo app on App Store or Google Play and just Momo it everywhere you go. Kickoff is brought to you by Lesheho and Zonda. Are you ready to power your finances and unlock your path to prosperity? Are you ready to watch your investments grow with confidence? The Lesheho Fixed Deposit Solution is your best option. With this, you are not just investing, you're making your money work harder. You can just watch your wealth grow. Don't settle for average returns. Join the investment revolution with our fixed deposit solution and take charge of your financial future. Call us now 02700 4799 or WhatsApp us on 02700 4733 to learn more. Invest wisely. Let's share whole. Let's improve life. In a world where dreams are the driving force, one company stands out as the hope of transformation. Zonda Ghana Limited, your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, TX trucks, and oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we don't only create opportunities and empower people, but we also provide top-notch after-sales service for all your heavy and light-duty trucks and machinery needs. Visit us today at any of our 7 branches around the country and also at the head office off the Tema Aplao Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave Tema. Call us now 050-177-2222 or 050-177-3333. Zonda Building Ghana, building Ghana. And let's welcome the gentleman Bernard Abeku into the studio. Good morning, Bernard.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Caleb. Good hi, and welcome once more to the very latest in the world of sports, powered by Shell, Lesheho, and Zonda. I am Bernard Abeku. Coming up, FIFA agents Pamela Ansah Asamoah blames poor scouting for Accra Hearts of Folk and Asante Kotoko's struggles. Also, Ghana Athletics Vice President Charles Osei optimistic about men's 4x100 meter relay teams' chances this morning. Let's start from the league of our roots and FIFA licensed agent and long-time scout Pamela Ansah Asamoah has pointed to poor scouting of players as a major problem for Accra Hearts of Folk and Kumasi Asante Kotoko Sporting Club. She said this in an exclusive interview with City Sport in the lead-up to the start of the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League season, with the two giants under heavy pressure to excel after reflecting on her time with Liberty Professionals legendary football administrator Sly Tete.
That in Kotoko is not about the young, it's about getting good scout to scout for the team. I was telling somebody, a colleague of yours, that if Hearts offloaded 20 players now in July, ending of July, and registration ends ending of August, for how long can they scout for players, the players who go for trials, who pass through their system and understand the Hearts of Folk system of play before the league starts? So the problem here, Hearts of Folk leaders, I've met them, I know them. My granddad was a patron, his funeral, they came. They're doing a great job. But for me, I think the ground is the problem. And the fans also don't have the time to wait for players to grow with the team. But sometimes you need a player to grow with the team and have the passion and commitment for the team for you to get the result you want. So for me, I think mainly the Hearts and Kotoko problem is scouting. They need the right people to point them to the right.
Well, speaking of Accra Hearts of Folk, they played out a 3-3 draw against Bichim United yesterday at the Pobiman Sports Complex. The Phobians are preparing for the Hearts of Lions clash in the Gbese Manche Omo Charity Cup this Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Here's what the two coaches have been saying ahead of Sunday's clash. First, Abubakar Ouattara and then Bashir Hayford of Lions.
It's part of the pre-season matches. We are continuing after that. We can get another matches. But for me, it's normal we get a match at that appropriate time.
Well, interesting. Hearts of Lions, how well do you know this team, and are you sure a win in this game would motivate your boys ahead of the campaign?
We don't talk about the win now. We're talking about the match. We are going to play the match. We try to put our best team to play well. That's the thing. It's part of the pre-season matches.
Well, we are entering into the next season. So I think all the clubs are preparing very well. That's why we call it pre-season. And if you get a big match like that during the pre-season, it tells or it tests the resilience of your players and how prepared are they for the next season. And once it's a big club like Hearts of Folk that we are going to play, it means it will expose whatever they have with them, and it will give me the idea as to what to add or what to subtract.
We head to Paris now, and the Vice President of Ghana Athletics, Charles Osei-Sibe, is optimistic about the men's relay team's chances of advancing to the next stage of the 4x100-meter relay, which is set to take place at 9:35 a.m. this morning. It is Ghana's final opportunity to secure a spot in the ultimate event of the ongoing Olympic Games. The top 3 teams from each of the 2 heats will qualify directly for the final, while the fastest remaining teams from the non-automatic qualifying positions will also advance.
Fortunately, they've been together for at least 3 weeks. Before this, these guys have run in a number of relay events. Remember, the 2 of them were in the team that qualified Ghana for the Olympics. Also remember that the 2 of them were in the last Africa Championship where they won gold. And they have been in the team. They have been running with the guys. So whoever the decision falls on tomorrow will come good. Beyond these 2 boys, like you know, Joe Paul, our captain, has always made the relay team. His performance in the relay team has always been phenomenal. If you check Azamati, if you have followed the relay team well, anytime he has run that back straight, that is where he gets the race done. So
we stay with the 4x100-meter relay team, and Joseph Paul Amoah is similarly hyped up ahead of the 4x100-meter relay semi-finals. Amoah, lets his feelings known on his X, formerly Twitter page, as he is set to compete in the second of 2 semi-final heats in the event for a place in a final. He wrote on his X page, "Almost time to eat. Let's get it," and attached the photo of Ghana's men's relay team to the message. More from the Olympics and Americas. Noah Lyles has the chance to become the first man since Usain Bolt to complete an Olympic sprint double after qualifying for the 200-meter final at Paris 2024. The 27-year-old winner of 3 gold at last year's World Championship finished second in his 200-meter semi-final in 20.08 seconds to Botswana's Leslie Tebogo, and the Olympic men's 200-meter final takes place later tonight. Now, in the 400-meter meters events, Quincy Hall became the latest American to electrify Olympic track and field with an out-of-nowhere comeback last night, sprinting from far behind in the 400 meters to reel in 3 runners and capture the gold medal. Hall buried in 4th place as the runners rounded the last bend, outran the runner on his outside, then 2 more to the inside to cross the line in 43.40 seconds, and 4th fastest time ever. Britain's Matthew Hodgson-Smith took silver, finishing in 43.44 seconds, and Muzala Samukongo of Zambia won bronze, finishing in 43.74 seconds. Let's hear from the American after the race.
Yeah, that was probably my fastest time of me ever getting out. I ran 20:90, I guess. But these guys, I knew these guys were going to get out, and they're going to come for blood early. They're going to go out and try to see who can throw, who they can throw off the race. So, Matthew, he's a really quick guy. He's a European champion at 200, and this guy to the left of me, he's crazy. he goes all out every time. So, I have a great group of guys that I ran against, and all I had to do was just run my race and then do what I could do.
Now, in the pole vault event and Greek pole vaulter, Alina Claudia Polak has been provisionally suspended from the Paris Olympics after failing a doping test. That's according to the International Olympic Committee. Polak, who is 27 and, has competed in the qualifying round on Monday, clearing 4.20 meters, but failed to get over the 4.40 meter, and subsequently did not reach Wednesday's final. Well, interestingly, Greece Anti-Doping Agency informed the Greek Olympic Committee of the violation on Monday. In basketball events, and the United States continue their charge for an 8th successive women's basketball Olympic gold medal by beating Nigeria 88-74 to reach the semi-final. They will face Australia, who beat Serbia 85-67 on Friday, with a place in the gold medal final up for grabs. In tennis, Rafa Nadal has withdrawn from the US Open a week after reaching the quarterfinals of the men's double falls at the Olympics with Carlos Alcaraz. Nadal, who has not announced his retirement, will play at the Laver Cup in September, but not the final Grand Slam of the year, the US Open. That's your sports. For more sports stories, log on to citysportsonline.com. We come your way later at 5 p.m. with another edition. Thanks to Shell, Lesheho, and Zonda. I am Bernard Baker. Sports is life. Get involved.
Services, innovative financial solutions. We deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to let's share go. No matter your situation, come to let's share go. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks, made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sale service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office? Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off their Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Coming up next is your insurance, and it's brought to you by Enterprise at 100. Enterprise, your advantage.
Insurance Today is a public education service by Enterprise Insurance. Ensure you speak with your insurance broker or agent before making any insurance decisions.
Hello and welcome. I am Barbara Taylor. Just as we have different types of insurance policies, there are also a number of different types of insurance claims. Claims can be filed for property damage, bodily injury, travel, liability, loss of income, death of a loved one, etc. Now here are a few of the common types. With a home insurance claim, the policyholder is requesting settlement from the insurance company for losses or damage to the home. Such damage or loss may be due to fire, explosion, earthquake, theft, burglary including armed robbery, windstorm, flood, burst pipe, and many more. When you file a travel insurance claim, it's an order to be reimbursed for baggage loss or delay, medical expenses arising from an illness during your travels, bodily injury, hospitalization, etc. Under general insurance, there are coverages for diverse kinds of accidents, especially for businesses and corporate organizations. There is a wide range of claims that may be filed for business interruption, workers' compensation, equipment damage, loss of revenue, etc. We also have liability claims where someone has suffered injury or hurt on your property or due to your negligence. If you had the foresight to protect yourself against this kind of risk by having a liability coverage, your insurer will settle your claim for that liability incurred to save you from what could become a costly consequence of the incident. We would love to hear from you. Write to us at Insurance Today at myenterprisegroup.io or by WhatsApp at 0548 2311 49.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Hey, we see you specking your car, taking that trip, chilling on the beach. Charlie, now we want to see this become your story. Simply use your ABSA card 10 times or more, and you'll be entered into a monthly draw where you stand a chance to be among 5 lucky winners to take home 40,000 Ghana cedis. The more you use your card, the more entries you'll receive. Earn an extra entry by using the ABSA app or internet banking 5 times or more. No ABSA card? Don't worry. Visit the nearest branch for an ABSA account or card today and make winning part of your story. Promotion is between 1st July and 31st October. This promotion is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
This is a special security announcement. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing, announces big discounts on all sliding security barriers, roller shutters, and clear guards to protect homes and offices from criminals. Trelidor is fighting rising prices by offering big savings and lower prices. Be safe, secure your premises. Google Trelidor or call 0561 24 24 24. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar proofing.
Calling all shoppers. This month at Oka Decor, we have an offer that you simply cannot resist. Enjoy an irresistible 20% off a huge variety of stylish and modern furniture. Visit Oka Decor on Spintex Road to enjoy our irresistible offers.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Yeah, cotton donut. Donut, donut. Malaria super donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D till donut now. Won't talk malaria chill. Won't popo. What we need to I want the donut. Donut. No. Lonat scatter malaria. Lonat ide scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumujam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
7:38. Let me do a few requests this morning. Please wish our dear boss Jamila, branch manager of CBG Kokomlemle, a happy birthday. From Team Kokomlemle, we love you, boss. CBG Kokomlemle. Happy birthday to Malcolm Mr. Arthur of the Audit and Assurance Department, Deloitte. Belated happy birthday to Zainita Zategamo. And to Yap Watima Sare and Juliet Neza and Foster Chutob, all of the Audit and Assurance Department of Deloitte. From your country managing partner Daniel Kojo Owusu and all staff. Everyone is a chairman, isn't in their life. You're such a wonderful person, one who cares for all, encourages everyone. And I'm honored to call you my friend. On your special day, I wish you all you wish for yourself. Have an amazing day. This is coming in from Magdalene Williams. Happy birthday to Mrs. Susan Isiama Bequin of ICGC Temple, Emmanuel Temple, Wager. May the Lord continue to bless you. Birthday to Dr. Efua Mwamensa of Precious Gem Diagnostic Center. God bless you and grant you all your heart desires. From the Mwamensa, the Cordier families, and all staff of Precious Gem Diagnostic Center. Dr. Efua Mwamensa. Happy birthday to Rachel Ocher from the Triple F crew. Rachel Ocher of Adabraka originally. What am I doing today? I will talk about Cocoa Board. I'll talk about PBC and find out what on earth is going on there. Then I'll bring you excerpts of my interview with Kuku Dakwankra, who gave me a very vivid description of the Big Six from the point of view yesterday. He ended up by discussing the issue of founder versus founders and made the argument that August 4 cannot be Founders Day. And happy birthday to one amazing sister-in-law, Fatih Masood Salifu of the National Ambulance Headquarters, from your husband Farouk. All your sisters-in-law and mother-in-law, Mrs. Fatima Masood Salifu Senior. We can't love you enough. Have an amazing day. Where's your husband's cow and chicken? Good morning.
Okay, let's take more wishes coming in. This one says, I thank God for adding my year today. All I want to say is thank you, Heavenly Father. It's coming in from Matilda Akoli, who is celebrating her birthday today. This one from Jones Adoboy says, good morning, Bernard. Please wish my uncle Benjamin Adoboy, aka Zola, and my son Adam Kofi Adoboy of Achimota School a happy birthday. May the Lord grant their heart desires. And this one says, good morning, please, guys. Today is my birthday. Kindly celebrate me. Why? Oh, Charlie, people are celebrating themselves. Omu Sumuru from Do Mabeng.
Omusumuru. From Don Mabin, you used to call into the show Omusumuru. Omusumuru. That's his name.
Stomach matter.
Yes, that's his name.
Okay. This one says, happy birthday to Maureen Aqua of EcoBank, the Roman Ridge branch. May God continue to bless you all in all your endeavor. It's coming in from your husband and your kids. The names not supplied. This one from Kosi Abalu. It says, good morning, Bernard and team. Please, I want to wish Mrs. Olivia Clotte of Glorious Light of Salvation a happy birthday. May the good Lord crown her year with his goodness.
So I'll start off with a quick interview with the ranking member on the Agric Committee. He's been complaining about Cocoa Board's expenditures and the lack of increase in production. That's coming up shortly. But VW is excited to introduce its 40K promo campaign. For every T-Cross subcompact crossover SUV you buy, cars couldn't know which one. Save 40,000 cedis. For every Amarok pickup you buy, you save 40,000 cedis. Take advantage now. Drive Ghana, drive Volkswagen. Terms and conditions apply. Call 025 79 56 688. You can also WhatsApp that number 025 795 6688.
There's always someone who has it.
And Gas has come to replace charcoal. Make the smart switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a healthy and happy life. We're talking about the National Petroleum Authority's new cylinder recirculation model. Visit any nearby exchange point and trade your empty cylinder for a filled one. No more long trips or waiting around to fill your gas. Message brought to you by NPA and the Ministry of Energy. The SG Visa card is your best option to make payments for goods and services online or anywhere with a point of sale machine. Whether you're shopping online for things you need, or buying a free meal at a restaurant, or shopping at the mall, or buying fuel for your car. Enjoy a lot of amazing opportunities using the SG Visa card. Go about your business anywhere in the world with comfort and security using the SG Ghana Visa card. Call 0302214314. SG Ghana, the future is you. Although sometimes I know it seems impossible, there ain't no need. And if you want a British degree at a fraction of the cost, a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to your career, enjoy these amazing offers with a 50% scholarship for you at Lancaster University, Ghana. You get taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards. Call 020-960-7008 or go to www.lancaster.edu.gh or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh.
Okay, so Bernard, let me do this special one.
Is that to Rachel?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, you are sleeping.
Okay, good.
You are sitting in front of me, but you are sleeping. Wake up, Mr. Guy. Rachel is Nanateria's wife.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, and today is her birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
You know she used to live at Adabraka.
Yeah. I mean, they all found there something here in Adabraka, man.
No, they used to live many years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't now.
That's the Adabraka connection for these boys.
I wonder how many people who were living at Adabraka in the 80s still live there.
No, the rooms have the houses have become.
One of the things I encourage people to do is to go back to where you used to live when you were a teenager, and find out how that place has changed and what you used to think of the place. I used to live in some parts of Medina. Yeah, I couldn't recognize the place anymore
when you entered there.
Charlie, kiosks and things. Charlie, the place spoiled.
Charlie, people just are messing up the place.
Charlie, the nostalgia I felt when I went there. I said, oh. This place bad that I used to grow.
You were holding it high still.
Charlie, kiosk and things. Charlie, oh my brother. And the roads are some way. The whole thing. Everybody, all the people have moved.
Yeah.
Even those who used to own their houses have sold it and rented it to somebody else. They've moved to. And it's funny, when people get money, they move away. You know, and it hasn't been gentrified nicely. It just became
some chaos, organized chaos.
So I don't know. You where do you used to stay in Accra?
Oh, when I came first, I was at Ashaman for a while.
And that was very short.
Yeah,
we went to
official town.
Yeah. So official town is your base.
That's my base,
But when you go back there, how does it look?
It's not progress. It's deteriorating actually.
People move away.
Yeah, people are moving away, and the roads are horrifying.
Shop, you see kiosks.
Charlie,
everybody is taking over.
Charlie, Chaka. It's not. No. It's gone bad.
Some way. But those who live in Cantonment, they are still there.
Yeah, but
no, okay, the thing has changed. Yeah. So if you go to Nyaniba and those kind of places too, it's gentrified. So now people are putting up apartments and things. So
but because these are prime areas,
they don't
spoil them like that. I mean, you go to Cantonment still has this, the ish around it, because even as they are building new offices, banks are moving into the space, as you say, gentrification is taking place. It still retains its core values as a place for the nouveau riche, if you like. But you go to these other spaces like Dock Official Town, Kwashima, Medina, all of these places. Charlie, somewhere. La Paz, Charlie. It looks like those spaces need to be.
La Paz, I can never understand La Paz. I mean, I don't understand La Paz. It's just confusing to me.
It's Abeka and La Paz put together.
Abeka is even better. La Paz, there is another level.
Chaotic.
Different.
And that's so much land. Ideally we should be, what do you call it, rebuilding those spaces. So high-rise buildings should be going up, so that if a person is an investor, has so much money, he can, build a high-rise building, allocate portions to the original holders of the space, and the rest of the space he uses it for something else. But the question is, will the people who have these new buildings use it to the glory of God? Or they will do their own things there. People want to pound their fufu, people want to sell their pure water and all of. So it's a whole problem.
It's an issue. It's an issue.
It's
And
an issue.
sometimes the way we live even affects the quality of our lives.
Oh.
The amenities, the quality of gutters, and we are not very clean.
See, every day you they come work, somebody holding something, they go pour out for the gutter inside. Every day I see that. Why?
Because the water doesn't flow. But sometimes you also need to be grateful that the place you live, water flows, because some people don't even have water.
That's true.
So he needs shamakulu. Do you know shamakulu? So
we call him Rosie.
Yes, he wakes up in the morning. Charlie, you may live in Russia. Wake up in the morning with shamakulu to go and throw away.
We get Jewish thing for him.
Something, because the fact that you can turn on the shower and it comes, maybe the people in your area have money to get water. So some people, of course, you don't depend on Ghana water. You can have a borehole or something. But some people, they don't have that luxury.
But if we wake
some
up
have to go and buy water.
Yeah, you should wake up and
people
do
have
that.
to. And when I was in Medina, we used to go and actually they used to put up the tap for long.
Oh yeah,
and we'll go and look for water at Hacho, Agbogba, and there were times that we would hire a truck, put these blue barrels on it, and then we'll go to Hacho, some place to go and bring water, because there was no water for like weeks.
Oh, exactly. I mean, yeah. So in my early years in Nima, so we'll come from Nimba 441, we'll go through Kanda 441 and come all the way down to where Alisa Hotel and the where Wayak area is, to buy water from there. We used to do that, come and get to the water and then carry it back to Nima. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one for many, really. It's a difficult one.
And it's a lot of people's reality, We take many things for granted. And the other thing we need to say is, if you don't build properly, everything else gets worse. So I went to a friend's funeral, father's funeral at La Paz. At Becan La Paz, someplace. We had to park the car and walk.
Yes.
Because I think the way they built the houses, cars couldn't access. Now, if cars can't access, how would they get water?
Yeah.
And how would they get fire service if there's a fire? How would they get, ambulance?
Yeah.
So
postal delivery.
Everything starts with the way we build. Everything starts with the way we build. Because if you don't have, and for me it's simple, straight lines, town and country planning, urban, LUSPA. Look, we are selling land today and we are repeating the craziness. One of the reasons I don't like the western part of Accra is it's very difficult to navigate.
Kaswa areas and all of these places.
It's the road is not straight, the place is some way, and meanwhile we have a land and urban and special planning authority, but we're not giving them any power. So people, until we crack the land issue, for me, we shouldn't allow people to sell land anyhow and then go and get the permit after the fact. It's almost like you sell the land, you tell what to do with it, then you go and back it. Somebody should say this land is meant for residential. And like the so-called service plots. Why should it be somebody's business to have a service plot? The assembly should be the one servicing the plot to say, before you are going to sell a land, it has to have this kind of infrastructure. But here you can go and buy a land in some bush. And then you say it's going to give you water. Then you go and buy a house somewhere and there's no access to anything there. You get it? So the concept of service plot, to me, it tells you our lack of planning. Because in serious countries, and in when they say service, what the service plot means?
Yeah. Taking water,
there's a road,
utilities.
But that shouldn't be the case. So you go and buy a land in some place, so nowhere is far, just go and buy. You buy the land, then you buy. Then you move, you have 10 people are there. When you are sleeping, you're kiki, you don't know whether it's a human being or an animal. Because you are the only person living there. Jesus. You get it? Then the road is some way. Charlie, you see, Sky, our governments have not allowed planning to work.
That's true.
I was talking about lawlessness. It's serious. And you see, there are certain fundamentals if you get wrong. For example, if your basic education is wrong, you will struggle in life because it's the basic, it's the foundation. If your upbringing is wrong, you will struggle in life. If your planning is wrong, you will struggle with development. Because If you haven't demarcated the area properly, somebody's living here. Next house is a university. Next house is a church. Next house is a disco. Next house is a brothel. How are you going to? You get me? If ECG wants to bring the light, how would they know which transformer to bring? You get it? So it's and the worry is that as we are talking, they are still selling the land the same way they are doing it, and the chiefs are not helping us. The government and you see the government itself is not credible, because you see here we are talking about government selling Achimota land. Government should be feared in a healthy way, that we will not allow you to sell land by heart. But the government people themselves, they are buying some of those lands. And they are in league with the chiefs. So how are you going to instill discipline in a system that you have so compromised?
You can't.
You get it? So now Yawapon tells us almost 65% of all cases in court are land cases. Why? So the government, if they were serious, would they themselves pay themselves of involvement in petty land thievery and then call the chiefs to order that you cannot just get up and just sell a land
anyhow?
Oh, there has to be. We are in an era of digital technology. We did a whole digital address system. Integrate that with national ID. Find a way of making sure that the land is well demarcated. All these things exist at Lands Commission, but still, people build. I drove. Someday I went someplace and I was coming back. These are Damrobe Khan areas. Charlie, road. You know, and the people will do what you allow. And you sometimes say, the people are the indisciplined ones. No, indiscipline is leadership that is failing the people. It's not the people. Fine, people sell land. But the people who sell land in other countries, and they also people.
Yeah, but there are rules around how you use the land.
We don't enforce the rules and we blame the people. That the people are the ones doing it. So why are you in power? Why are you in government? Why do we give you V8? Why do we allow you to run the red light? Why you are in office to use your power to solve the problem. We have allowed lack of spatial planning to mess up. Godfrey, we're talking about, you know, you're one of the few people I know who lives where you grew up as a teenager.
Yes.
All of us. Someday I went, you know me, I was born in Medina.
Yeah. You went back.
And I have a certain love for Medina. Charlie, I went to visit some man when I went. I said, is this Medina that we used to? Is this the Medina?
Did they take you up?
Medina ni. And the road has been the same. People are still fetching water, throwing on the road. Oh, Charlie, my heart's like, no. The only thing is that there were more trees in the house.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I wanted to go back there.
My neighborhood, I learned how to ride a bike.
Look at that.
On my road.
Look at that.
I learned how to play football in the space on my road.
Look at that.
Up the junction, there was a garden owned by Clute Robertson, who won a medal for Ghana boxing.
You are growing up with gold medal winners around you.
The where he used to live and the property around it is now shared between a fried rice maker, a fruit seller, a carpentry shop, a welder shop, and a car sales point.
All of that in that same.
So where we used to ride bikes safely as kids. Now no child of yours can ride a bike there because it's a highway. That's the 26 Gatchesburg Avenue from the exhibition roundabout. Yeah. It takes you all the way down through to Kamara. There's a part that also takes you.
It's taking over your.
Basically, so children you can't leave your kids in that part. Now to my left, that would be Datus Junction coming up. Now from my junction all the way down to my left, there's a Banku and Tilapia joint by the roadside in front of a residence by the gutter.
The pepper is correct.
I've never tried it.
And it's by the gutter.
Yes, I've never tried it.
By the gutter.
This is a residential, but now they've turned the front into a joint where people sit.
And the gutter is open.
Yes. Right next to it is my good friend's house. I won't mention his name, but they sell fruit in front of his house. Across the street, Auntie Grace's Gabins, which was around for 40 years, has shut down. It shut down this year for the first time.
People need to sit up.
People need to sit up, and also because I think the area has changed.
So your career eaters have moved.
You know, you go down the road to your left, there used to be a woman who sells bread at the Datus Junction. The entire Datus Junction enclave now is shops. They sell pork, in the evening there's a drinking bar. My good friend Alex runs a drinking bar there.
So playing some music.
They play music there. Now across the street is Sam Johnson's place. So you have his gym and his house. 2 buildings after Sam Johnson's house, you have a large brothel.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yes. I'm describing my community to you.
Was it that way 30 years ago?
You said 15 years ago. It wasn't like this. Even 10 years ago.
So what has changed?
So, I don't know.
So what time do they come out?
Oh, from 6.
Wait, so even as of 2012, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like this. It was very quiet. And see, what
so it's like urbanization on steroids.
And there's been no planning to it because my next door neighbor took umbrage with me because I complained to my MC, Mr. George Bray, and he listened to me on that matter. He actually drove to come and check what I was talking about. So basically, the old residences, the Danswan Estate houses, somebody took one, my next door neighbor, where Mr. Clute Robertson used to live, and has turned it into a church.
Praise the Lord.
There's no soundproofing, so it's a tent.
Praise the Lord.
24/7. They are playing their drums. They are doing. Now what we okay. Okay, you've done this. We are managing.
Do soundproof.
Then
all night.
No,
they should do soundproof.
Aloski, they put a kiosk in front of them, and somebody started sewing
because man must eat.
No, don't worry.
Man shall not live.
What annoyed me about it was then we realized that somebody had come to occupy
the
kiosk full time with her kids. So that means that they cook there. Yeah. You can see the banku water and they are pouring it in the street.
And there's no toilet in the kiosk.
Yes,
so
they are pouring it into the street. And I'm like,
what is this? Meanwhile, that's your house.
This is Dansoman. This is that
in all its glory.
In all its glory. In all its glory.
Dansoman baller, bro.
The week after, and it's time for taking social media, but forgive me, the week after I returned, there was an incident in front of my wall. So around 3 a.m., I was reading, and then I had an argument. Bernard, I get out there, and it had turned into assault. Basically, two men and a woman, a sex worker, and 2 men. Obviously, it was over money. And they were beating the woman. And I was like, you people should stop. You can't beat the woman. They were like, oh, Fioko. And I was like, 3 a.m. And the woman too was doing her thing. So she started shouting and her people started emerging. So I was like, you people should stop.
This can lead to a gun battle.
Not a gun battle, but I mean like it's
3 a.m.
in Dansoma.
Charlie, they don't even think I'm part.
You know, so they were refusing to stop. So I had to get innovative. So I opened my gate and I have dogs. And when I say I have dogs, I have dogs. So when you see one,
so you mean Otilo?
You know you have a problem. So I held the color of the dog.
And I said,
and I pulled the dog. And when they saw the dog, my good friend Cosmo's head, and I mean, why do I have to resort?
So what did Cosmo say? Who?
Oh, Cosmo, when he talks,
you're
committing bad.
But you should write a book about this. You can call it the decay of the glory. Dansoma.
You know, but
1985 to 2024.
That's right. It has affected property values. People can't sell the properties at the prices that they even want to sell again because you are buying. How are you buying a high-end property?
Sell it.
Next door to you
let somebody buy. Maybe somebody's come and build an apartment there.
Oh, they buried this umbilical cord there, so they can't just sell it.
No, people, and that's the thing. People are struggling to sell some of their properties
because nobody wants to come and live there.
But why people are moving from there?
So when people move from Nansuma, they go to McCarthy Hill.
They are going to your places.
My John.
They are moving to our side.
They are moving to your side of things. Yeah. My good friend Shegu and Co. They moved there. To that part.
So they left the old guys there. Guys, don't go.
Yeah, we the boys. We the boys.
I can't go for anything.
You know, we sit by the roadside and chat.
But you know,
anyway, very soon you'll be the only one left there.
My queue to leave La Paz, I used to live at 6 to 6. There's a place called 6 to 6.
6 to 6.
The place is named after a bar. The soldier man had a bar open 6, closed at 6. I was living somewhere there. My queue to leave, one day I left my charger in the car, go down to pick the car, and 2 sisters were leaning on the car. I didn't know there were brothels in the neighborhood. Yeah. So they were doing business. They came and they were leaning on Fafale. I said, no,
this is too graphic.
I cannot be unequally.
They were leaning on your car?
Yeah. So I said, okay, bye-bye.
La Paz, 6 to 6.
6 to 6. Yeah.
Have you gone back there since?
Oh.
No, you can't. They will even chase you out.
Water issues. Oh, it's not
anyway,
good.
we are talking about the urbanization that has happened without plan. We'll deal with that in other issues when we come back. It's 8:03. Let's bring you tech and social media trends.
It's brought to us by First Bank Ghana and Telecel. The biggest dreams start small, so this long vacation, enroll your children awards on the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program from July 15th to September 15th. Enable them gain valuable work experience. All you need to do is to sign up your children awards for the Kiss First account designed for children up to the age of 12 and for the Me First account made for teenagers aged 13 to 17. Make an initial deposit of 300 cedis in their account and apply for the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program. Your child award will experience an exciting 5-day internship at any of our branches. Get to participate in an essay writing competition and win an attractive cash prize. To find out more about the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program, please call 0596 921 921 or email solutionsfirst@firstbankgroup.com. First Bank Ghana, you first. And it's also brought to you by Telecel. Our More Money promo is getting exciting. 30,000 Ghana cedis each week is up for grabs. And in total, we are giving out 1 million Ghana cedis. You simply have to reload your mobile using your Telecel cash wallet and be part of the daily and weekly draw where you could win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis every week. If you purchase data or airtime using your Telecel cash wallet, you double your chances. The more you reload, the better your chances. To opt in for free, dial star 500 hash or send win to 500 or visit the Telecel Play app. Promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. T's and C's apply. Telecel, connecting energies.
All right, so Godfrey, to give us the trends for the morning.
Yes, I will as always start with my trends, the Ghana trends on Twitter. So trending is NSPPD. Basically, it's a church program. So that's trending. What Chelsea people, you don't like peace. Why is Badia Shile trending?
I wonder.
People are always insulting this defender. Apparently, they played a game 2 days ago. He didn't do well, and they've been upset the whole of yesterday.
But why must he not do well? That's why we pay him.
You pay him.
Yes.
You are part of. Are you a shareholder?
I buy Chelsea jersey.
Oh, master.
I buy Chelsea. You know how much that costs?
Sami Jenfi also trending after his
press conference
yesterday. Now let me just get to some hardcore tech news for you. So in Ghana, Flutterwave has expanded its digital payment services. They've been granted a new license from the Bank of Ghana. Beautiful. So this marks a significant expansion of the company's operations in Africa. Beautiful. And enables it to offer a wide array of payment services in the country. But in Lagos, the state government has announced plans to generate 200 billion naira from 2 million residents by taxing the digital sector.
Good.
So, according to details in a document provided for a summit that is going to happen September 25 and 26, they are going to focus on 4 main subsectors: digital economy, property, industry, informal sector, and circular economy. So the Lagos state government is set to introduce a resident global digital citizen tax management system that is aimed at remote workers, foreign companies, and digital influencers within the digital economy.
That is very necessary because these Nigerian influencers, they are really big and they are making it big. The likes of B News and Brain Jota, all these guys. They are making so much money.
So on 2 billion naira.
Yeah, so I think that's the space we should watch. In our own country too, we should explore that space.
Okay.
And I lost this one should something you would know. So Eli Hine, I was saying Eli. Yes, he's the CEO of MTN's Momo Payment Service, and Elsa Mussolini, the COO, they have left the company.
This is Nigeria.
Yes, in a leadership change at the fintech. Mussolini has joined M-Pesa Ethiopia, and Eli Hine, it is unclear where he's going.
Because he was MTN Ghana.
He has taken another role.
Interesting. All right.
Yes.
That was Tech and Social Media Trends.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of
Okay, so this one is coming in from Kobana from Adenta. Says, Bernard, you can't solve this land planning issue if land litigation and land guards issues are not addressed and resolved entirely. This one from Dave Kofi in Kaswa says, good morning, Bernard and team. This Malam flyover expansion joint matter is giving me headache. Anytime I get to that spot, I feel like exploding. How do you do an asphalt overlay without factoring in the fact that it would affect the expansion gaps? Please put this issue on the table until the Ghana Highways Authority and the Ministry of Roads and Highways come to fix the problem. It is truly depressing.
Well, your energy giving great taste in Lucozade has a new look, whether you're out and about in the office, in school, or we should say at school, or even in a trotro. You need to restore your energy. Look out for the now sleeker, slimmer Lucozade Original 330 ml can with the same energy that you've known for years. Go ahead, grab your Lucozade sleek can and discover the same unbeatable taste. Lucozade, restore your energy. This advert is FDA approved. Asphom is your one-stop shop for all home soft furnishings. We are introducing a wide range of new collections to suit your home, your hotel, and your organization. We're talking quality mattress, help to reduce pressure in your body, promotes deeper refreshing sleep. A perfect pillow supports your neck and aligns your spine and muscles. Asphom's bed linens combine a unique variety of soft and supple thread counts and treated fabrics to provide you with the superior comfort during sleep. So let's talk about beds and mattresses. Pillows, bed linen, mattress toppers, duvets, curtains, towels, etc. Call 0243 200 729. Ashfoam, feel it, know it.
Now, every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Brush your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter. It gives your teeth the protection they need, leaving your teeth 10 times stronger. Pepsodent is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association, and you can get one at any shop near you. Call our customer care center on toll-free 0800 2030. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent, every smile matters. Now, SolarTech is your tried and tested brand, always gives you excellent services. We protect your valuable equipment against any problem that you could encounter from your electrical supply, whether it's low voltage, high voltage, power surges, spikes, brownouts, or what have you. No matter your appliance, we have the perfect SolarTech product for you. Choose from our tried and tested range. We have several of them. However, beware of counterfeit SolarTech products in town, because they can cause major damage to appliances and fire outbreaks. Get your genuine SolarTech products today at our Belengpe office and all authorized dealers across the country. SolarTech products have 2-year warranty and after-sales service assured. Contact us at number 10 Yiyiwa Street, Abelengpe, or call 0246 836 235 or 0302 761 450 or 0302 775 106. SolarTech, the power to protect. Hello Ghana, there is an exciting new chocolate beverage out there on the market from producers of Cowbell. We call it Twisco. It's a chocolate fruit drink with a blend of premium cocoa powder enriched with NF. It is available in 20g and you can find it at a shop near you in a delightful red sachet for only 1 cedi, 80 pesos. Start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream.
And talk to Bank of Africa today for warehouse financing, discounting of receivables, local and offshore guarantees, remittance of export proceeds across the YMO region, and other great services across over 30 countries in Africa, Asia, North America, and Europe. Whether you're an importer, exporter, or involved in any form of international trade, the Bank of Africa is here to provide all the needed support to make your cross-border trade easy. Call 0302 429 333 or visit any of our branches nationwide and let's do business together. Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Let's take you quickly to the minorities. Eric Opoku has been speaking about the dwindling fortunes of cocoa board and the rising cost of operation. Here is what he told journalists at a briefing yesterday.
Yes. In fact, that is very, very important. when they say the economy has come back to its proper track, these are some of the critical questions we need to ask. Number one, cocoa is one of the pillars that sustain the Ghanaian economy. Because every year, it brings in not less than $2 billion. Look at our IMF credit facility. For 3 years, we want to take $3 billion. Cocoa alone is able to give us $2 billion United States dollars on annual basis. Unfortunately, under the watch of Nana Addo Bawumia government, the cocoa sector is on its knees. It has collapsed. In fact, it is not something that we can even talk about. I raised the issue of rising administrative expenditure on the floor just because the Auditor General has raised concerns about it. In 2021, we were told that cocoa production peaked in Ghana, reached its highest level of 1,045,000, unprecedented in the history of Ghana. But surprisingly, that same year, we incurred a loss of close to 4 billion Ghana cedis. Why? All because office expenditure is taking the chunk of the money. In 2016, Ghana produced 969,000 tons of cocoa. 969,000 tons of cocoa. At that time, total office expenditure was around 363 million Ghana cedis. In 2021, Ghana produced 1,045,000, and office expenditure ballooned to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis. In 2022, cocoa production declined from 1,045,000 to 1,045,000 tons to 683,000 tons. But office expenditure increased from 1.7 billion to 2.6 billion. How would you explain this? And the worst of all was recorded in 2023. Cocoa production declined further to 655,000. But office expenditure did not decline. It increased to 3.4 billion. My brother, are you not shocked? And the Auditor General reports to Parliament that this is largely due to headquarters, head office expenditure. Head office expenditure. Do you know the budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Agriculture for 2023? It's not up to 3 billion. So Cocoa Board head office alone is spending 3.4 billion Ghana cedis, while the entire Ministry of Agriculture is spending something around 2.something billion. Is it not strange? So the issues I raise with this kind of expenditure is that the cocoa is produced in the rural communities. From the farms, the people are there. The producers are sweating every day to get the cocoa for us. They complain of water, they complain of roads, bad roads, they complain of so many things. They are not getting them. Even look at the producer price that we give them. And you spend their money this way in the office. So are you growing the cocoa in the office or in the bush? And at the end of the day, the nation suffers. And so if we get leadership, new management with the vision to grow the sector, to prioritize the welfare of the farmers, the producers of the beans, against their personal interests, certainly the spirit of the sector will bounce back. And that's exactly what we intend to do. Under our watch, we even set up the Cocoa Stabilization Fund. Cocoa Stabilization Fund deposited some money in the fund to cushion cocoa farmers in terms of challenges. That fund has been depleted. Generally, all the economic buffers that we built for this nation, they have depleted all of them, except the Heritage Fund, the Ghana Heritage Fund, which now holds about 1 billion Ghana cedis, $1 billion. And so they have created debts for you to come and pay. Your children will grow, they will come and inherit debt created by this government. And I stated on the floor that under Mahama, even though we had some debt as a nation, we had a debt of 120 billion, there were enough buffers to deal with the debt. So we created wealth for the upcoming generation, and they have created debts.
Jerusalem, Ikayalam.
It's Nafu South and also the ranking member on the Food and Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs Committee, ripping through the government's record of cocoa production, falling to 655,000 tons in the last 4 years, expenditure rising to 3.4 billion, contrasting those two with the NDC's administration. It's become political, but it's still a very important discussion, because yesterday we spoke about CPC and their second straight year of a loss. Now, there's also PBC. Now, those of you who know the cocoa sector know that there's the produce buying company, then there's Cocoa Board, and then there's CPC, all in the chain. Now, PBC, I don't know if you have the audio from their demonstration, but the workers are very, very unhappy. Mm-hmm. They're blaming management for mismanaging the organization. The question is, if what Erikopoku is saying is true, why should office expenditure be rising while production is falling?
Doesn't make sense.
Because this is one of their worst years of production we had a high price of cocoa, couldn't take advantage, because we had already forward sold cocoa at a very low price, around 2,000 or 2,200 per ton. When it reached 10,000, we still couldn't sell, because in fact we hadn't even finished supplying for the previous price. Right? Of course, there's swollen shoot virus disease, there's also the galamsey, but all these are within the remit of government. Because if you allow galamsey to thrive and cocoa production falls, cocoa is your third largest foreign exchange earner. So something obviously wrong with cocoa management in the country.
Yep.
And I think the government needs to give us a proper explanation for this. Why the cost of running the office of Cocoa Board keeps rising and everything else in terms of the output is not reflecting. It's a big challenge. Workers of produce buying company have called for the dismissal of the company's management. Yesterday, the workers protested at the company's headquarters to demand payment of, look at this, 1 year unpaid salary. 1 year. Setedusa, vice chairman of the workers' union, urged state agencies to probe the company's management concerning financial issues and called on the government to dissolve the management board and expedite the process of paying their 12-month outstanding salary. Sky, cocoa, you produce cocoa, this company buys and aggregates it. Why should they not pay their workers for a year? I mean, how? Meanwhile, Cocoa Board head office, which is in the chain, is spending 3.4. What is going on? And according to this worker, from the year 2023 to 2024, funding was not coming, management were not getting answers, called on union leaders, also not coming forth with answers, and as they speak, for a year, they've not been paid. How?
It's clearly leadership is failing in a big way, because it truly doesn't make sense. I mean, you can't expect that people will work their backside off and for the institution, and for a whole year they are not paid.
And what is SIGA doing?
The failure of leadership.
You know, the SIGA, state interest and whatever. They are supposed to ensure that these companies are well run. There's something fundamentally wrong with the way state-owned enterprises are run in Ghana.
They are poorly run. Well,
but very expensive to run, because obviously the costs are escalating and the profits are totally off.
They're essentially procurement entities used for purposes of funneling in many cases, resources out of the public purse.
It's terrible.
If it's a business, it will not be a going concern by now, right? But, these things exist. And if it comes down to it, the people of Ghana get to pay for it. They mismanage it, and then they ask us to recapitalize it. And then where we do and they mismanage it again, they will say, okay, they want to sell it off. I think, the former Chief Justice has given you the model that it's government institutions, we mismanage it, run into the ground, and then we say we are selling it off. The people inside know where to make the money, so they sell it.
You know what is sad? So there are many ways of raising money, but because of the way these companies are poorly run, if they ask me to buy shares, I would not. Let me give an example. When I started doing share buying in the invest, like when you are doing like basic stock exchange knowledge, they will mention some companies that sell shares. CPC was one of the shares that people thought they would invest in.
Golden shares.
They've actually now been suspended on the exchange because their book value is negative in millions of dollars. Think about that. So even if you want to save it by saying, let's
want to float publicly,
who's going to buy? Because they are negative. I mean, how do you allow this to happen? Here is stock exchange trying to promote the exchange, calling people to come and invest. And you have a Ghana company called Cocoa Processing Company, producing flagship chocolate that we all eat. And they've been suspended from the exchange. So they can't even raise any money on the exchange because their book value is negative.
It's horrible.
In millions of cedis. How is that? And nobody's taking responsibility for this?
Yeah, nobody's there because, it flows up the chain. It flows up the chain. The same thing. Yesterday I saw, some booklets that Fred and Co brought from, I think, the Bank of Ghana and some other institutions. So basically, these are booklets that they are using to promote or entice people to go back to investing, saving their money and all of that. I read through. Then I was asking myself, after all the things you have done to undermine, public confidence in investments and instruments that you yourself have promoted over the years, do you think somebody in his right mind looking at that booklet will say that, let me go and put money, when old people are still on the streets demonstrating because of money that has been taken unlawfully away from them?
Okay, we need a major shake-up of our SOEs.
Crazy.
The next government has a very big job on SOEs, and I am hoping it's not going to be business as usual. Because, in Ghana, there are always sectors that give a clue to where the economy is. So for a long time, we had energy sector debt. So energy sector was a major issue.
Legacy debt.
Cocoa sector has become one. But I think the state enterprises should be taken as a sector. State enterprises, these companies, maybe with the exception of Goyle, who for some reason have always stayed above water. A lot of them are completely mismanaged. When you read the SIGA report, you will weep for Ghana. In fact, there's no reason why some of them should even exist as going concerns in any serious country. Honestly. And we are not hearing a lot in the campaign because people are thinking that, this one there, this is where we'll put people to work. This is where we'll reward our food soldiers.
Exactly. But you see, Bernard,
it's some in Sky. The way we have legacy debts in energy sector, cocoa sector has become an albatross. The state sector, when you put all these companies together, Sky, it's something that should avert the attention of our parliamentarians.
Ideally, that's where I was going. Ideally, they should be the people holding the stakes and caning everybody who is misbehaving in those spaces. But unfortunately, you have a situation where in many cases, the MPs themselves are pursuing these people, asking for jobs, asking for favors, asking when they bring their businesses before the house, demands get made that, Charlie, you have to make sure that city allowance, all of these things, we won't come and sit down. All of these things undermine your authority to be
oversee.
able to... Yeah, exactly. Because if you are asking the man to bring something so that you can sit down and travel to this particular constituency and go and see the work they are doing there, if you are making all of these demands, in many cases unjustified, you create problems. You are conflicted. So it is one thing saying Parliament should do something about it. It is another thing looking the reality in the face and saying that, look, the way things are, they are unlikely.
But what's sad is the government set up SIGA ostensibly to solve this problem. It's a tragic situation. Let's do history. Those who don't study history are bound to repeat it. This is negative history. Let me give you some highlights of my conversation with Kukuda Akwankra on who the Big Six are and who the founder of Ghana is and why August 4 is such a contentious choice for a date.
So the Big Six itself, many people have made it look like some historical epoch thing. The Big Six could have been more than Big Six. This is what happened after the declaration of the riot, the disturbances.
1948.
The disturbances itself was not as a result of the UGCC planning. What happened was things that were happening around that time. One, the veterans who have been organized by Bansby Ahmad Temaklu have successfully moved on to send their grievances to the Christabon Castle, Osu, of which they made Major Emre and they were fired upon. We all know what happened to the three people, Satija Jete, Kopratipo, and Odate Lamte, dying as a result. This fueled a lot of agitation around that time. It was within that time that Nico Blabani had also declared his boycott on importation of European goods against the Association of West African Merchants, the AWAM. So these were the issues that was going on. So Nkrumah around that time, as the General Secretary, instigated the Committee of Youth Organization, the CYO Young Men, who also participated. So the UGC young men entered into the thing, and the disturbances moved across the country. So that was what happened. In this regard, the CPP Central Committee, they call them the Working Committee, were calling members to come and meet. So the 6 members or leaders of the group that were first to go to the headquarters there, where the people, when the police were coming to arrest, they had them.
So this is the UGCC.
UGCC. That is
so the Central Committee.
The Central Committee members, the 6 of them who were early in the headquarters. So example is, let's say NPP have sent their youth to go on demonstration, and the president in power, NDC, now NPP is in power. So NDC has sent the people into demonstration. They are blaming the leadership of the NDC. They send the police to the headquarters. The few people, all the members, come and let's discuss what has happened.
So the 6 that they found
there, and they arrested, transmogrified to the so-called Big Six.
So at the time, they were members.
They were members. For instance, R.S. Bray was then at Second D, and the Second D workers and the people from the railway has cordoned his house that they will not allow the colonial people to go there. And the most dangerous place to go and make arrests in the colonial days was the Western region, Second D, where the railway workers had the massive political clout. So for him, his place was called. Other than that, we'd have Big 7.
So R.S. Blake would have been in that meeting.
He would have been in that meeting if they have grabbed him. He would have also been part of the prisoners. James Christensen, who was also very central to so many things. Pa Grant, who should have been there. Joseph William de Graaf Johnson, who was then former General Secretary before Nkrumah came in. All these people could have been there, and several others.
So
but
the 6
they had not come.
So the 6 who went for that meeting,
yes,
including Dr. J.B. Dankwa, William Furiata, Emmanuel Edward Akwaje, Edward Akufo-Addo, Ebenezer Akwaje, Edward Akufo-Addo, Obetebi Lamte,
yes,
and then Kwame Nkrumah. They happened to be the 6 who were there.
Very good.
When the authorities got there.
And then make the arrest.
And they were all sent to prison.
Yes. And then when there was a clamor that the people were going to release them, then they dispersed them into the northern territories. Some were sent to Laura, some were going to so they put them in different
So
prisons.
they separated them because
they separated them.
So some people say the concept of the Big 6 came out of a failure of British intelligence. For example, when Atuba writes about this in 2022 when he spoke to Social Reform and said the Big 6 were never really together as a Big 6 and never really agreed.
No,
therefore it was a failure of British intelligence. I don't know whether that's true.
Yes, it's true, because if you look at the Central Committee meeting or even the Watson Commission report, when they went there, they categorically denied the involvement of the UGCC as being part of what happened. So it was Nkrumah rather who was insisting that if we want to energize the radical aspect of our independence agenda, then we must claim ownership. Then people should know that we are ready to get independence. This was flagged upon, so a committee was set up, headed by Obeche Bilamte and William Oforiatta. And the committee concluded that, according to Obeche Bilamte, that he, Nkrumah, is a communist and he is bringing confusion into the party. So they will not accept what he is claiming that they should accept, because they are good gentlemen of the colonial empire. So these people, you could see from their thought that though they want independence, but they were still clamoring to the old vestiges of colonialism as being part of the agenda. So Nkrumah had come radical, and it was changing the way they do their things, because that was not the way things were before Nkrumah emerged.
So you've explained to us that these 6 happened to be at a meeting and therefore were arrested, and therefore they were not necessarily like known prior to that as working together. You said there was R.S. Blay, there was James Christensen, there was Park Grant, there was Joseph de Graaf Johnson. Fair enough. But let's talk about each of the big 6 briefly. So let me start with Emmanuel Obeche Bilamte. Who was he?
So Emmanuel, he was born Emmanuel Odakwe Ilamte. Later he became Obeche Bilamte. So he was a gentleman. He went to school in Accra, some in Ashanti, returned, and then worked briefly as a stenographer for A.J. Okamsi, the famous billionaire who owned the African Morning Post that was edited by Nnamdi Azikiwe. So he worked for him before he took work in customs in Takoradi, and afterwards he went to Inner Temple to study law by a way through University of London, and then when he finished, he returned to Gold Coast. He couldn't have come to Gold Coast because that was, he completed 45, so that was the period of the war. So he waited, and 46 he returned to the Gold Coast and was called to the Gold Coast Bar.
So was he a founding member of the UGCC?
Yeah, so when they were founding the UGCC, he became a member of the UGCC. By 47, Akela Pasoya, who was the Gold Coast Legislative Council member for Accra, died, and as a result he contested a by-election and won the election from 47 and continued up to 51. In 51, when we had the first election,
just because of the speed, this Obeche Bilamte Emmanuel is the father of Jake Obeche Bilamte,
yes,
who was former chairman of MPP.
Yes.
And this Akila Pasoya who died, is he related to the current?
That is the son of Professor Akila Pasoya.
So Professor Akila Pasoya, former VC of Legon. His father used to be in the Legislative Council for Accra.
He was in a party called Ratepayers Association.
Ratepayers Association. So Aki died and Jake's took over. Jake's father, Aki's father died and Jake's father took over.
Emmanuel Odakwe won the by-elections and went. So
for the Legislative Council.
For the Legislative Council. In 1951, we have Legislative Assembly via Kuse Constitutional Reforms of 1948. As a result of the Legislative Assembly, Obeche Bilamte stood at Asedu Keteke,
which is now Ododio
constituency around there. And he lost the election massively to Kwame Nkrumah and Thomas Hatton Mills.
Because Nkrumah was in prison.
Yes.
At Jamestown prison.
Yeah.
Or James Fort.
Yes.
And therefore, this is where he stood.
He stood. And if you look at the things that Obeche Bilamte told, that Nkrumah does not belong to Accra, they should not even allow him to come and talk to the people. If you want to do anything, you should go to Nzama land, for he's not even a Ga. If you look at the ethnocentric politics around that time that Obeche Bilamte released in Accra, there is a lot of evidence in the Gold Coast Spectator, Gold Coast Observer about some of the things he said.
Why did Nkrumah stand there? Was it because he was in prison there?
In those days, you could stand anywhere.
And he chose to stand there because
you could stand anywhere. It was later when ethnicity came in.
Yes.
So you see Cape Coast, for example. Later you see Eni Ayiwebek of Accra standing in Cape Coast, and when he won the seat, Ampansadazi went to court to change about his legitimacy of being in Cape Coast. If you go to Kumasi, Achike Hayford, he was the first member of what is today you will call Mensha seat. Then you have this gentleman, Professor Taylor, who also stood there, Kwanchi Taylor, who also stood there and they won. They were all fancies.
Wow.
In those days, it was beautiful.
Wonderful. So
People
let's
could
51.
stand
So let's
anywhere.
still stay in 40.
Yes,
So,
so-
Emmanuel Bechevilamte was one of the big six from Accra Central. He was part of the committee that was set up to look into some matters. Let's deal with the second person.
So it doesn't end there.
Okay.
When he lost the election to Nkrumah, in 52, they founded Ghana Congress Party by Buzia. He joined, and then for him, he had a fist off with Buzia, that he thought Buzia is a political upstart. So he and Kwesilamte wanted to take over the party from Buzia. So he was expelled from the Gold Coast Ghana Congress Party. And he went and found his own party, Ghana National Party, which he used to run the 1954 elections, and he lost. So if you look after that, Obechebilamte was never known in Gold Coast politics again. So you could see that his political crowd is from 47 all the way to 1951. So after 51, he was no longer in the what we call the active political players of the Gold Coast.
So that's Emmanuel Dakwe Obechebilamte.
Yes.
Let's deal with Ebenezer Akwaje. Who was he?
So Akwaje is from La. And he was born in Ajekrum in the eastern region. In fact, he couldn't even speak Ga until he grew up. So he came to Accra, schooled in Accra in the Basel Mission and then the Scottish Mission. Later, he moved on to work small with the same African Morning Post where he met Nnamdi Azikiwe. And Nnamdi Azikiwe conscientized him about education in the United States. So he also traveled all the way to Lincoln, later to the University of Columbia, where he had his master's. And he wrote a very famous MPhil thesis called Mortuary Practices. And then from there, he moved to England to go and study. So he studied at England, also in the Middle Temple. Afterwards, then he returned to the Gold Coast to practice law.
So it was then that he was also brought to be part of the UGCC.
Yes.
So also one of the founding members?
Yeah, he's also a founding member.
It is said that he was the one sent to convince Nkrumah
yeah,
to come and join the UGCC.
So he was also at the time of the Manchester Congress of Pan-Africanism, he was the president of West African Student Union.
Okay.
So he was somebody who was well grounded, in fact, from Colombia. This is a guy who has debated Pan-Africanism with Chief Ozomba Mbadiwe, Mboni Ojike, all those Nigerian heavyweights, with Professor K.A.B. Jones Kote and Kwame Nkrumah around that time. So Akwaje is someone who is well grounded in Pan-Africanism as well as a student organization and active student politics in the metropolitan London. So when he returned home, they knew him. Nkrumah knew him. Dankwa, for instance, knew Akwaje because Dankwa himself was also a former president of West African Student Union. So when the gentleman came, all these people, they know themselves in the metropolitan London. So they gathered at that time. And then Akwaje became a founding member. So he also founded his newspapers, Gold Coast Star and Times of Africa, and those two newspapers. And he was very active in the colonial struggle. So in 51, he stood the election in the name of UGCC and lost the election to Nkrumah and Thomas Hatton Mills Jr. And in 54, when they founded this Ghana Congress Party, he became a general secretary. But he was always accused because of his relationship between Nkrumah, he being the one who suggested Nkrumah, and Nkrumah had come and broke out. They say, hey, this guy cannot be trusted. In frustration, he resigned.
So you can say that of the six, he was the closest to Nkrumah.
It was the most closest. Because when Nkrumah even moved from United States and came to London, it was Akwaje that found him a house in England. So they were very close. They belonged to the same debating club circle in Lincoln. So these are two people who know themselves. Of the big six, no one knows Nkrumah more than Akwaje. So because of this, in 51 election, having lost to Nkrumah, and then the GCP, also the Bikren and the suspicion, he resigned and he joined the CPP. As soon as he joined the CPP, he won the seat in 54. Then he was
he's one of the six who left the UGCC and ended up in Nkrumah.
In Nkrumah's party as a CPP member. And he was in the CPP, became a minister, won his seats consistently.
This is La.
Yes, he won the yes. Oh. So he won the seat in 54, won it in 56. In the 60s, he won the seat again.
Wow.
Until the issue of the Kulugugu bombing came. in 63, and then he was arrested alongside Teria Adamafiu, Holusho, 8 Kofi Crab, and Robert John Ochre, and Yaumenu, and then the 8 others, Mamatula, Joseph Kwemensa, and all those people about the Kulungu bombing activity. That was how
the falling out between Nkrumah 63.
So you could see that his political career did not end in Gold Coast. He preceded Gold Coast.
It went beyond
Ghana.
Gold Coast. So that's Ebenezer Kwaje from La.
Yeah.
So you've dealt with Emmanuel Bechebelamte from Accra Central. Yeah. Asiedu Keteke. Now let's deal with William Oforiatta. Who was he?
So William Oforiatta, the son of Nanase Oforiatta, and he also schooled a little bit in the Basel Mission, moved from all the way, came to Achimota, had a wonderful education, went to England, studied, had a bit of student politics there. There were some instances where he was heavily against his father. Certain things he wrote about the journey towards it, how there's the need for activizing the nationalism processes in the Gold Coast, and how the chiefs should move away from some of these things so that the educated elite
can take over
and so on. And you know, Nanas Oforiatta was an active supporter of indirect rule with chiefs as core members of governance of the state.
So Nanas Oforiatta was Ochehene.
Wonderful. So because of that, he also returned to the Gold Coast, and then as a teacher, he was also part. Then he has not become a lawyer then in 47. So he participated in the processes for the formation of the UGCC.
Wow.
And later he was also sent to the Legislative Council through, in those days you can vote for somebody from a traditional area, also entered there. Afterwards, he lost the 50, he was 51, he was also in the, he was the only member of the Bixers who won his seat in 51. By 52 elections, he lost 54 elections, he lost the seat.
Because the 51 election, CPP was against UGCC.
Yes, was against UGCC.
The only member of the Big Six who won from the UGCC was Oforiatta.
He and Dankwa, when I reached Dankwa, the two of them were the only people who emerged from the UGCC.
So he was MP for, is it Chebi?
One of the south or central, I should have brought the map for you.
But definitely Eastern region.
The Eastern region there. And then he went into the Legislative Council. By 54 election, he lost the 54 elections, he lost it. And then 57 NLM, he joined the NLM and he lost again.
But he was there even up until, because I hear they were calling Pawili's name even in a 70-something election.
No, in 77 election, because he was well known back in the day. And he has then been one of the living survivors of this UGCC as well as the Big Six, who was in active politics. Akwaje, after his prison experience, vowed never to be part of Gold Coast politics. So you could see that Akwaje even survived, he was the last surviving member of the UGCC, but because he took low profile in politics, people did not hear. But William Oforiatta was still actively involved in politics.
So in that election between the UNC and then the PFP, where we had the split between Pawili and what's his name? The
Victor Usu.
This was in the 70s.
Yes, this was in the 79 election.
1979. So Pawili was still alive in 79.
Yes, so it was in 79 election when the division came about. Some people who have had clout in the busiest administration, like Victor Usu and others, where Afrifa and Cold also think that it is their time. So they prop Pawili and Co. And they also have some members of now, like Obediawa Samoa and Co, who were also then
the
from
National
now
Alliance
of Liberals, who have also joined them.
So Pawili was popular.
So Pawili was popular.
There was even a song they used to sing about him. Convention clean Pawili and so he was.
There was also a funny aspect that Osu Cemetery Pawili and
wonderful. So I just want to say that. So Pawili was active in politics even till the 70s.
And even when he lost the elections, Liman appointed him as the chairman of Council of State.
So he was highly respected.
Yes, was highly respected.
So from 48 all the way to early 80s, Pawili was
still in there. Wow. That was his last political position.
So that's the son of Nanase Oforiatta
Yes, that's the son of Nana Ofori-Atta.
Who you are saying also happens to be an uncle to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yes, so his sister is Nana Addo's mother.
Is he related to the former finance minister?
They are all the same.
So the Ofori-Atta is one family?
Yeah, it's one family.
Wow. Let's deal with Edward Akufo-Addo.
Okay, so Edward Akufo-Addo, son of William Addo, who was a trader, also schooled in Presbyterian school all the way through Automotive school, had a scholarship to Middle Temple, where he studied, through Oxford, where he studied and earned his birth certificate, returned to the Gold Coast, did his pupillage in Ofeare's chambers, and then he was a very smart guy. Even his enemies agreed that he's one of the brainiest legal practitioners Ghana has ever produced. This is from Geoffrey Bing, who had interactions with him. So Akufo-Addo also, at that time, interesting, Akufo-Addo was involved in formation of political party before 1947.
Wow.
He was with Kofi Edumua Bosman, Niama Olenu, E.C. Quest, who is the first speaker, and several others, including the second speaker, Augustus Molade Akiumi, and co. When they founded Kuhei, the party is Kuhei in Ghana, it means new party. And that party was used to run in 1943 elections, but unfortunately, they lost the elections. So after the elections in 43, the party was repackaged, and it became National Democratic Party, NDP.
Hey.
Okay, and so this National Democratic Party contested the 51 election. By then, Akufo-Addo Kwesteson had left the Kuhei and joined UGCC. Edumua Bosman, Olenu still remained, and they ran the party and transmogrified it into National Democratic Party, the Domos, who were the centralist party. They don't belong to the ideology of the CPP nor the UP tradition.
So the Edumua Bosman, who's a deputy chief of staff and Akufo-Addo now, his father or grandfather was one of these men
who founded
the Demos party.
Yes, he was from Gamambi party before he founded the Kuhei, then to the Domos.
Interesting. So this Akufo-Addo was brilliant.
Yes.
He was in politics before UGCC came.
Of course. So he was with the Kuhei, he was with the NDP, but when the idea of UGCC formation, his best friend is called Kwesteson, that guy, Jimmy Kwesteson. So he and Kwesteson, they moved to the UGCC, became very influential members of the UGCC as a foundation members. And then he too, he never won any seat until 1950, when the member representing the Eastern Province, Ohineba Sechijan, died. When he died, he inherited the seat and then entered the Legislative Assembly in 51. In 54, when the next election came, he lost it. He lost the election. He stood on the seat of the UGCC in the 51 elections. In 1954, he joined the busiest Ghana Congress Party. And around that time, he stood as independent. And then he lost. And then in 56 election too, he lost the election. So that was the last time he was in politics until the coup in 1966. Because afterwards, despite losing all these positions, he was appointed a chief justice later in the 60s to become, he was appointed to the Supreme Court. So he became one of the justices of the Supreme Court until the aftermath of the Kulungugu bombing trial, which saw the exoneration of the three people, that is Akwaje, Adamafio, and Kofi Crab. As a result of that incident, the president, in anger, sacked the Chief Justice. Van Leer resigned, and later R.S. Blay, who has also been appointed into the Supreme Court with Akufo-Addo, was also sacked. So when he was sacked, it was...
So R.S. Blay and Akufo-Addo, who were members of the Big Six, who were from the UGCC, were also Supreme Court judges.
Yes, Nkrumah appointed them
as Supreme Court judges.
Into Supreme Court judges because of their intellectual legal capabilities.
So they sacked Van Leer.
Van Leer was not sacked. He decided to resign on his own volition. It was the Chief Justice Akufo-Addo who was sacked. Van Leer resigned on his own volition.
Akufo-Addo was sacked by Nkrumah.
Yes. So later, then Akufo-Addo was sacked.
Interesting.
So when he was sacked, he went back to his practice until 66 coup, when the coup makers brought him, the National Liberation Council coup makers brought him and appointed him a Chief Justice. Okay, so he was in that capacity.
Of course, I think he became the head of state.
Yes, so he was in that capacity until 69 elections. Buzia won because we were practicing the Westminster system. So the leader of government business, the original ruler, when you use Westminster system, is the Prime Minister. So he became a sort of ceremonial head as a ceremonial president in 1969 to 1972.
So he's been in politics before 47. He became Chief Justice twice, and then he became head of state. So
he was not Chief Justice twice. He was just a Supreme Court
judge, sorry, under Nkrumah, and then Chief Justice under the NL.
Under the military regime.
NLC. And then he became the head of state under Buzia. But this was ceremonial.
Yes.
Did he do anything after Buzia?
Yeah, so after that it's not winning because after the overthrow by the champions regime, National Redemption Council, he was not until he died in that time.
So you can say he also was active. I'm looking at the length of time. Obeche Bilamte's politics after 54, we didn't hear much. Akwaje left politics after his fallout.
Because Obeche Bilamte died in the PDA detention.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean,
nationalists of the time before Nkrumah will come into the political sphere. So Dankwa, having been educated in the Eastern region all the way, also passed his first. His idea for law was worked by Vidal Bakau, where he went to have a clerk work with Vidal Bakau, one of the famous Sierra Leonean lawyers on the Gold Coast. So he worked there, and later on, when he passed his exams, he moved all the way to University of London, where he studied philosophy. and later also went into the inner temple, and then passed his bar exams, and then later also returned to the Gold Coast. So he was a brilliant man. He won award for philosophy, John Mills Award for philosophy. So this is an astute intellectual. When he returned to the Gold Coast, he joined Aborigines Right Protection Society in the 1920s. While he was in, he and J.W. de Graaf Johnson, who had mooted the idea of Gold Coast Youth Movement around that time, founded with Ateku Braketu and some few others, Bosman and co. They formed what is called Gold Coast Youth Conferences. And the Gold Coast Youth Conferences bring an array of the young intellectuals, professionals, all together and discuss alternative policies to the colonial policies that have been rolled out.
Okay.
So they had series of conferences from 1930s all the way onto the formation of the UGCC. So that was what, and he was also a critic, massive critic. He writes under so many pseudonyms, attacking the colonial policies. In fact, in 1932, 37, 38, he wrote an article damning the colonial estate in a satire form. And as a result, he was arrested and sent to magistrate court at Cape Coast under Magistrate Irwin, of which the second Chief Justice, Julius Akudiado, was his lawyer, who defended him, and he was made to pay £20 for writing contrary to the criminal code of the time, which states that he has written what is called offensive writing against the colonial estate. So it shows you the caliber of the man. From his youthful stage, he was really a radical sort of young nationalist around that time. And he did active work until 47. He sat down and realized that there was no cohesion in the way parties were organizing. So he decided to go and look for people who are ready. That this time, most of the political parties are Accra-based. Some are Cape Coast-based. That is not the way we can go. There need to be a unification. So all the people in the Gold Coast around that time, minus Transwater Togoland, minus the Northern Territories, should come together and then found a political party, because then Ashanti has joined the Gold Coast legislatively in 1946. And as a result, it gave him the opportunity to clamor for this unity. And so he did so. In fact, he contributed towards the formation of certain constitutions and the idea that Ashanti should be added into the Gold Coast. Danko contributed to the discussions that went on. So he was better placed, just like de Graaf Johnson, who was also included in that, just like A.W. Kojo Thompson, just like say Akukosa, all those young people who contributed towards that document, which say Alan Barnes took and then added Ashanti into it for that legislative union to okay. So when he decided to move to Sekendi, because we need a financier, he went through Sekendi, through R.S. Blay, they went to see Pa Grant, and the idea for the formation of the UGCC was crystallized. And then on 4th August 1947, they met at Kenyan Lodge, Albionmen's Kenyan Lodge in Sopon, and then they founded the UGCC.
So is it why he's called the doyen of Gold Coast politics?
So he became a doyen of politics, a description that was given to him in the Watson Commission report when they were describing him because of his activity.
So it was his ideas that brought the UGCC together.
Of course, no one can deny the epochal role of Dr. J.B. Dankwa.
He was senior to the other five, right?
Yes. But I think de Graaf Johnson was older than him. Francis Awuno Williams within the CPP.
Of course.
Yes, but with the Big Six, he's the oldest.
So they would have deferred to him on many issues. But it turns out they are all lawyers except Nkrumah.
Yes, Nkrumah himself also attempted law, and before he was coming down. Wow. So all of them had some elements of, because at that time law was the cocaine of the time. So when you do it, then you see the prestige, either law or medicine. So those who went to do journalism, like Kwekuba Nkola, who decided to leave the Lincoln seat and do, when he came, his father, who was the first president of Gold Coast Bar Association, Peter Uno-Rena, he decided that my boy has gone wayward. So you see that sort of thing. But because at that time, they put more prestige, as we have stated, on law and then medicine.
Wow. So J.B. Dankwa was obviously the doyen of Gold Coast politics.
Yes.
All right.
And so his politics didn't end there after the formation. Yeah. So when they wanted to bring Nkrumah in, because the Graf Johnson, after working for just party was founded in August. By September, the Graf Johnson says it's affecting his business as a lawyer. And he needed to also write a lot of things because that guy was a great intellectual philosopher. So he decided that, okay, I don't want to do it again, find somebody. That was when Akwadie made his suggestion. And then Park Grant wrote the first letter to Nkrumah. And then Nkrumah ignored it. Then Dankwa also wrote. First one, Nkrumah ignored it. And then the second letter that Dankwa wrote, he showed it to George Padmore. And the Padmore said, but what they are asking you to do is in tandem with the idea of independence. So why don't you go home? And so he returned. That is why when you look at the cablegram, the money that was given by Park Grant and Kofi Benchi Enchel was sent to Nkrumah via J.B. Dankwa.
Wow. So they convinced him to then come and be part and then became the general secretary of the UGCC. And of course, in 3 years, he had fallen out with them.
Very good. And then he continued to go to the Legislative Council through the Achime Buakwa chiefs during the Legislative Council. In 51, as I said, General Assembly, when the Legislative Assembly came into motion and then we ran the election in 51, he was the second member of the UGCC who won his seat in the Buakwa. And then Buakwa was in Central East, and then he won the seat, okay? When he won the seat in 51 all the way to 54 elections, he stood on the ticket of Buzia's Ghana Congress Party. And he lost the seat to Erono Foriata, his own, I would say, is it his nephew? It will be his nephew, okay? He lost the seat to him in that elections at the Buakwa Central. So in 1956, when NLM was founded, he joined NLM and decided this time fled from Buakwa Central and left the seat to Kofi Dia Sechi. And then he moved to Begro constituency, and he stood there and he lost the election. That seat will later become, Achike Sileford will later move from Kumasi North and come to Begro and win the seat again.
Wow.
So Dankwa lost the 56th seat, and that was his last movement in
politics.
In politics. From there on, he became an agitator. Because
he was an opponent to Nkrumah.
Yes, because he had the intellectual capability, the experience to write. I mean, he was the kind of person people respected, even the colonial authorities. So his views were heard. In fact, despite, you see, the politics of the time was complicated. They were pulling him down, sort of thing, because everybody, if your party wins, you become, how do you call it, the president. So around that time, there were instances sometimes we don't want this guy to win. So you've seen that there's a letter, one of his personal letters has surfaced where he wrote to one Mr. Obdam and they say he didn't like. And won the case and stopped the British from alienation of colonial land, which saved the West African coast. It's epochal. That is one. Then you have the Forest Land Bill, which they were also able to defeat in 1910. That was the success of the ARPS. Have we heard of their names? John Mesa Saba, Kesri Hayford, Jacob Wilson, J.D. Abraham, Joseph William de Graaf Johnson. All those big shots, Peter Awana-Renner, okay, A.J.E. Buckner, all these intellectuals, Akukosa and Co. What should they even say? These were the first people who laid the foundation that these people, you cannot joke with them. With that regard, afterwards, in Accra, we have the Gamambi Party that was founded to contest the elections. We have Asre Kowuru Party, which was also founded by Kote Papafiu to contest the elections. We have the Ratepayers Association, Frederick Nanka Bruce, You have Akila Pasoya. You have very many women, East Quest and Co. in the Ratepayers Association. They perform their role, they run elections all through that period. Then you have the 1943, as I stated, Kuhe, and then the NDP. Before UGCC, when that's why the president is totally wrong when he says that in the 4th August. You state 4th August, it means you are truncating the work others have done. If Kwame Nkrumah came to meet people, you the big sis too, it is not that you came out of vacuum.
So if a president says Nkrumah is not the founder, August 4th cannot be the founder.
No, of August 4th, the significance of August 4th is the formation of UGC. It's a political party.
So that cannot be.
Never. Why can you use political party's foundation as a foundation of the Gold Coast?
So was it easy?
Then we should go back to the date of about 8 March in 1897 as the formation of the Gold Coast, because that is when ARPS was founded,
the Aborigines Rights Protection
Society. To save the lands of this country.
So for you, that's quite even more epochal.
No, for me, I don't even understand the 4th August, because look, if you want to unify a country, irrespective of unifying the country is very important. It's not about personal interest as a people belonging to Dankwa-Buzia tradition or anybody. No, it is about unifying the country. So therefore, the date itself must be able to unify the people. So if you use the date that your party or the grandparent of your party to start as a celebration day, others from other political parties will have cause to blame with you. And when they also get the political power, they will try to. In any case, we are talking about Ghana, not Gold Coast. So you see from the discussion, I'm answering your question about founder or no founder.
Yes.
You realize that the Gold Coast was all the way up to 56. That Gold Coast in 51 elections was the first time the Northern Territories became part of our legislative council system. Even in that election, they were not to come into the elections on a political party. So in 51 elections, neither UGCC nor CPP were allowed to campaign in the Northern Territories. It was in the 54, that was when they opened the door for everybody to go in there and campaign. You see? So all the way to 56, you have Gold Coast proper, Ashanti Territory, and the Northern Territories. When all these elections have been run and we're going to independence, there's one question. What do we do with Transvolta, Togoland? And then Nkrumah called on the UN for the plebiscite, which was conducted. And the people voted overwhelmingly, despite the massive opposition from the lower belt, that they don't want to join the reform. And for the purposes of some people who make certain statements, the Transvolta Togoland we are talking about does not include Auno area all the way through the Tong areas. So from Aflao all the way through Abozome, all the way to Sogakope, Fume areas, they were all part of Gold Coast.
Already part of Gold Coast.
Since 18, they were in Gold Coast before Ashanti became part of Gold Coast. They were in Gold Coast before Northern Territories became part of Gold Coast. The Transvolta Togoland started from Ho Enclave, all the way through Buem, Raura, all the way to Ketakrachi, through Bupe, Yendi, all the way to Boku. Those parts were not part. So many people think that Transvolta Togoland is just that small Ewa corridor. That is why their overwhelming votes could subsume that of the people in the North Airway areas who voted mostly.
So coming to
so the 56 election was conducted. So the 1957 Ghana that was built is different from the Gold Coast. That is significant.
If Ghana was founded, it was 56, 57, and it was Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, that is why
Kwame Nkrumah is the founder of Ghana.
That is why your independence constitution, people should go and look at it. That we will become independence in 6th March 1956. The constitution was drawn between the opposition, the CPP, and the UK government. That constitution of 57 for independence, it was drafted in London. And in there, I'm surprised I didn't bring a copy. It was stated that on 6th March, we will become independent as a new country with a new name, Ghana. So it is not your Gold Coast, which does not include Transwater Togoland.
So the founder of Ghana is Kwame Nkrumah.
Yes, because for the Togoland, when that started, there was no Dankwa in it, there was no Edward Akufo-Addo in it. In fact, most of them, their political career have ended, only to be resuscitated by 1966 coup. Without 1966 coup, most of them would have ended after 51 election.
I'm going to talk about your car battery. It's a very important issue. Your car battery may be damaging your car, you don't know. We're speaking to Auto Parts Wholesale on a very important aspect of our vehicles. Later on, Heritage Christian College will be telling us how they provide a missing link in tertiary education. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
Still the 8th of August. There's been a lot of heavy issues this morning. Let's come back to something a bit more relaxed. George Wellington Tuyahene is a really, really big guru when it comes to cars. His company has been involved in preventive maintenance. They do sell and provide service parts like engine oils, brake parts, coolants, transmission oils, filters, batteries. They also do after-sales support with oil change, battery replacement, transmission oil service, diagnostics. So if your car is sick, you take it to them. They'll help you, whether it's a headache or a stomach ache or a fever. Now, there are branches at Spintex, North Kaneshi, Hacho, and Butcher School Junction. Today, we're going to talk about car batteries. George, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Why are car batteries important in a car?
It's important because almost 80% of every component on the motor vehicle needs electricity, and the battery is more or less like the power bank that stores the power and then distributes the current to every sensitive part, like your radio, your fuel, even the cranking or starting of the engine. You need the battery to be able to start it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So beyond simply starting, usually when we talk about car, but it's like, mechanic starting to a battery. So a lot of people feel like the only use of the battery is to start the car. But your point is that it's not just for starting the car.
No. So, I mean, times are changing. And then with this age and now, batteries have more to do in a car than just starting the car. I can even say they are lifesavers. How do I say batteries are lifesavers? So in a typical new generation motor vehicle from about 2013 onwards till now, they have even accident mitigation systems inside the car. So the car's brakes and then lane departure systems, ABS, all these components use battery. There are times these components are not working well only because it's not the part that is faulty. It's because it is not getting enough current to be able to work well. Just like how in our homes, if we have low current or high current, the refrigerator or the TV set is not going to work properly. So it's very important that we make sure that we choose good batteries, not necessarily because we want to start the car. Secondly, there's a direct correlation between your battery and then fuel economy, especially in this price-sensitive economy that we are in now. Every penny of fuel savings count. And why do I say this? If your battery is not working well, what it means is that it is not sending enough current or electricity to parts like your fuel pump, your high-pressure pump, your low-pressure pump, your injectors and all that. What it means is that it stalls the movement of the car. So the longer you take to get to a destination, all other things being equal, maybe there was no traffic, and so you had to get to a place in 15 minutes. Because your car is not moving and is stalling, you get there at a later time than you're supposed to. And I've seen consumers blame it on other things like, what is it called? Spark plugs and trying to change things in their car, only because they didn't know what to do or they had the wrong battery. Thirdly, I've seen people pay for expensive repairs when it was actually not the component that was faulty. It's more or less like your refrigerator not working well and you not knowing that it's because of the current, and you just carry it, send it to a repair shop that you want to have it repaired. And so for cars like a Honda, when you have a low battery current, although the battery is able to spark the car, it still throws on lights like brake system malfunction, accident mitigation system malfunctions.
All these are linked to the battery.
And all these are linked to the battery.
Wow.
If you don't know and you don't take care, you might probably want to change a component because in your mind, my battery starts fine.
So if the battery is suboptimal,
yep,
a lot of the components that depend on battery will malfunction or underperform, and you could misdiagnose the problem.
Exactly.
Without knowing that it's actually the lack of battery power,
enough electricity,
which is the problem.
Exactly.
So let's talk about whether there are different types of car batteries, or because usually what you happen is that maybe you have a mechanic, and so my battery, then you just go and buy a battery and give it to you. So are there specifications? Are there kinds of batteries for different kinds of cars? Just to walk me through.
So there are different types of batteries. One cap doesn't fit it all, based on the needs of the car. And so the normal talk of the town is, I need a 13 plate, I need a 15 plate battery. That's a facade. The boxiness of the battery does not reflect the energy content of the battery. Just like how we would talk about engine oil and specifications, batteries do have specs. But the boxiness of the battery is just to help you know that this size of a battery is going to fit into this space, so that it will not move as and when or shake as and when the car is in motion. But then you would have to pay attention to the exact specs your manufacturer put on the original battery. One of them is knowing the amperage, which is whether it is 55, whether it is 40, whether it is 80 AH, whether it is 100 AH. And then you go on to look for the cold crank and arms, which is normally stated. All these values I'm talking about are stated on the vehicle, the CCA number or the EN number. These are what you need to know to be able to buy a good battery. If not, then you are being shortchanged. I've seen batteries on the market without any of these information, and consumers don't know. They'll just call you, I need a 15 plate or I need a 13 plate battery. That's a facade. That doesn't cut it. You need to have a conversation with whoever you're buying it from. You can still buy your favorite brands, but have a conversation. Just ask the person, maybe I have this Toyota, I have this Mercedes-Benz, I will need a battery. What do you think is good for me? Then you go on to ask him, please, are you sure this is good for me? What is the warranty you are going to offer me? If they are even going to give you or sell you extended warranty, that's more or less like buyer protection. You can still buy that one too, to be able to extend the length and time that you can use it. Now, there are different technologies in the battery. There is the flooded one, there is the AGM one, and then there is the lithium battery types.
Okay.
So the flooded battery is the one that has been over the years the common battery on the market. But times are changing, and then cars need more technology to move, lots of electric power. And so now most cars are running on AGM batteries.
Okay.
But because the consumers and even the sellers don't know, what it is that they call and they say, I need a 15-plate battery, I need a 17-plate battery, and that is all they are getting. So in about a battery that is supposed to do about 4 years, when you buy it on the open market, is doing about 1 year or 2 years. And consumers will be complaining, oh, the battery just died, I just bought it. It's only because we are not paying attention
to these details.
Exactly.
But the way you are talking, this sounds like things you must be taught in school, though, because so when you are buying a battery, what question must you ask? Or what are some of, because you said apart from the plates, there are different things
that you have to look out for.
Yes.
So ordinarily, we shouldn't be having this conversation, because in the Western world, the sellers are professionals. They know that if you sell them good or bad stuff, you are taking them on. But here, there's nothing like that. Even the seller might not know what they are selling. And so the onus or the responsibilities on you, the buyer, to know. And now, what are some of the things you have to know? You have to know what type of car you have. Originally, what battery did the manufacturer put on? Consumers sometimes think a bigger battery means longevity and good performance. No. What you have to also know is that your car manufacturer put in there an alternator to replenish the energy loss in the battery as and when it is being used. But because it was not made for that big battery, and you've gone to replace your smaller size battery, but you didn't know the energy contents in there, what it is that when it loses the power, the alternator, which is small, is not able to replenish it. So it's very important you have a good conversation and know what exactly you need. It's not just about buying the battery, and it's not about a battery being expensive. That means the battery is good.
Okay, let's talk about keeping your battery to last long. So yes, you said batteries have different longevities, but I'm sure there are certain things you can do to ensure that your battery. You give me 1 or 2 or 3 tips on how to manage a battery to keep it last longer.
Okay, so one is the battery hold down. Now, when the cars come in originally, every user will see that the battery is held in its place firmly by something that is holding it, normally a metal bracing it. When they are not finding the exact type of battery, they just take it away. So the battery sitting in there moves and shakes a lot. Flooded batteries, which are ordinarily cheaper batteries, has acid in there. The more it shakes, the weaker the battery and the cells become.
So if you are on a rough road,
every day and the battery is not held firmly, you lose it. So in cases like that, you are looking at an AGM battery where the cells are tighter and the acid doesn't shake in there. But that you pay a price which is double the price of a flooded battery. Thirdly, you are looking at our own habit, where you go to the car wash, you leave the car, the car wash guy is banging the music whilst the engine is off. What he's doing is that he's just taking away the power of the battery. And in case you do this almost every 2 or 3 times in a week where you go to wash your car, the lights are on, he opens the doors, the lights are on, he's playing music. When he comes, he just gives it away to you. He's destroying your battery. You can also check for corrosion around the terminals, that every 2 or 3 months or 5 or 6 months when you go in for service, you can just ask your service person to say, hey, check if you see any corrosion or anything around there, and then to make sure that it fits. Now, one of the things that I would want to put out there is that it's not always the case that we, the sellers and the mechanics, know what we are doing. There are people who are just wanting to put bread on their table, so they see that people are selling batteries, they sell too. But just like when we came here and we did the education with the engine oils and the transmission oils, we've seen that consumers are actually asking questions when it comes to that. They are making sure that their engines are safe.
So you, as a seller, you are more interested in people knowing the mechanics behind what they buy.
Exactly.
So that they will partner with you to manage their car better instead of simply just coming to buy.
Because if they don't know what they need and they just call you over the phone and tell you 15 plate, and I know what a 15 plate battery is, I know what they are looking for. If I send it to them, what it is that because I didn't know what type of car it was going to sit in there, the battery dies early. And then all he sits there and says is that this guy is selling me a fake or the product is not good. Killing my brand and then killing my company name.
So for you, it's better for the customer to know.
Customer should
the
know.
more informed the customer is, the better for your business.
The better for my business and then the better for the customer. Because I'm pretty sure no customer will leave when they are winning with you. If the products are good, they're not going to go away.
Where can people find you?
So
people are asking. Somebody says, Bernard, who is this guy? I need his contact. He needs to inspect my Honda.
So we don't do repairs. We only do service, preventative maintenance, oil change, brake pads, spark plugs, transmission oil service. You can find us on the Springtest Road. You can find us Springtest Road opposite the Standard Chartered Bank.
Yeah.
You can find us at Butchie School Junction. So if you live around East Legon Hills and Medina and East Legon, and then we have Awudome around Azuma Nelson Sports Complex, and then we are at Hacho, inside the Puma filling station before transitions. You find.
So
us
what's
there.
the name of the company?
Auto Parts Wholesale Limited.
I think you need to give us a couple of phone numbers because people want to know. So give me a number or two that we can reach you on.
Or two.
Yes, it's very important. It means you won't sleep today, but you give us a number.
So first contact is 020-484-2247. 020-484-2247.
Second contact?
That would be...
All right. Okay, so the first one is 020-484-2247.
And then the second contact is 057-110-0233.
Again?
057-110-0233.
So George Etiahene is the supervisor, Auto Parts Wholesale. They're located in North Carnation, Spintex, Hacho, Butchie School Junction area, and they are into all you need about cars. I've been there. Charlie, when your car goes and comes, it feels like you've gone to a barber.
And we have a new branch coming up inside East Legon in about 3 months.
We can't wait. Thank you, George.
Thank you, too.
Talk to you soon. From the mechanic shop, we're going to school. Heritage Christian College is joining us for a chat. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
1xBet presents an exciting world of entertainment in the 1x Games. You find Crash, Dice, Apple of Fortune, Money Wheel and other exciting games with many chances to win big wins. Go to the website 1xbet.com.gh or app, enter promo code GHGames and receive welcome bonus up to 2,650 cedis. Fun to play, have a chance, fast to win. It's your best chance to grab your luck with 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Are you hoping to start university this October? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our 2024 intakes. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Imagine a one-stop shopping experience for all things made in Ghana at the This Is Ghana Exhibition 2024. Get ready to explore the remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This Is Ghana Exhibition 2024. Now Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM invites you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies that Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, we shall support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. The date, 31st of August and the 1st of September 2024. The time is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. And the venue is the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, Coa Natural, Ghana National Gas Company, Ghana Pay Mobile Money, People Beverages, Exim Bank, and Petroleum Commission Ghana.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
It's 42 after 9. We have our friends from Heritage Christian University College joining us in the studio, talking about creativity and innovation, talking about education that makes a difference, that makes an impact. We'll be talking to our friends Nathan Bills, doctor. He's a Dean of Human Development, and Ebenezer Obobi Danso, Senior Assistant Registrar, Head of Admissions. Look at all the opportunities that are available for you very shortly. In the meantime, Eden Heights is a well-planned and secured gated community with access to an ultra-modern sports complex, Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have available 2, 3, and 4-bedroom apartments and penthouses with the highest grade of finishing for rental and sale. Eden Heights is delicately styled for your comfort and relaxation. We are located behind West Hills Mall, Wager in Accra. For purchase or rental, call 050-153-1444 or 050-153-1445. Visit our website www.edenheights.com.gh for more details. Eden Heights, the height of modern living. So which bank in Ghana is always at your service? Omni Basic Bank. Which bank is ready to assist you with their 24-hour state-of-the-art contact center? Omni Basic Bank. Which bank is Ghana's fastest growing corporate bank and bank of the year 2023? Omni Basic Bank. We are always at your service. Call us now on 0307 086 000 or 0302 758 555 or visit any of our branches nationwide to open an Omni Basic Bank account today and enjoy exceptional customer service. Omni Basic Bank at your service. Let me say a very special good morning to Dr. Nathan Bills. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Have you? Yeah, you are the Dean of the School of Human Development.
Yes, yes.
Is this also at the Heritage Christian College?
Yes, Heritage Christian University College has 5 schools, and human development is one of those schools.
Wow. Interesting. And then Senior Assistant Registrar, Head of Admissions, Ebenezer Obobi Danso. Good morning, sir. You're also very much welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good. And let me say good morning to Justice. He is your Assistant Librarian. He was my colleague, student journalist at Radio University. It's good to see you and welcome to the studio. So we're talking about Heritage Christian University College. And first thing I would like to ask is, there are a lot of private universities and even established public universities around. So what's unique, what's special, what's different about Heritage Christian University College as we have this conversation?
Thank you very much for that question. We've been accredited since 2015, and we think there's something very special going on at our university. One of the things that we do very well, I think, is we emphasize on entrepreneurship and creativity. In fact, it's one of our core values. Entrepreneurship plays such a pivotal role with our graduates, with our students. Every student that goes through the programs at Heritage is taking a series of entrepreneurship classes, no matter what their area of study is.
Regardless your course, you are taking entrepreneurship.
That's right.
Wow.
And every student has the opportunity to develop business plans and think along with faculty mentors to help them develop those businesses and eventually to pitch for seed money to start those small businesses. And we've had success. We're not a huge university, but we've had some success with students starting their own businesses, and we've given out, I think, over 500,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh, that's shot up from 450,000.
Yes, since 2018, I
Okay.
believe, when we started the Startup Challenge, the annual Startup Challenge.
Okay.
So we think we're doing something creative and innovative with around entrepreneurship with all of our students that helps students when they graduate go out and not just look for jobs but also create opportunities for jobs.
I love that. And I'll come to you, Ebenezer, to tell me some of the success stories you have nurtured through your annual startup challenge, where you've invested more than 500,000 cedis since 2018. What are some of the success stories that have come out of this initiative?
Yeah, so first of all, greetings to your listeners. Heritage is located in Amasaman.
Okay, behind the Olympic Stadium. Yeah.
Exactly. You notice that every organization, institution sets up goals. We want our students, our graduates, to have the mental picture of being their own bosses. So far, we first of all, we've been in the what we call the Global Social Innovation Challenge since 2018. Our first attempt where we emerged the winners. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Our
Where
first attempt,
was this held?
San Diego, USA.
Global Innovation Challenge.
Yes, you can check on
And
that.
on your first attempt, you emerged tops.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's a competition between
About
45,
yeah.
50 other international teams.
Wow. Nice.
And since then, we've been going. So if you're talking about success, we've been consistent, participating every year. The aim is not about the winning, to give a global exposure to our graduates or our students.
Very important.
And then also to give them the mindset of working together as teams.
Right.
And then building them up for the world of work.
That's fantastic.
Okay. Beyond that one, how have our entrepreneurship trend or aim gone?
Yeah, what are
How's
some
it
of the
performed? Yes,
because
so-
it's one thing competing in a contest, winning is another thing running a
Yes,
business
you
and
might-
keeping it going.
Exactly. You might want to pass through to check.
Okay.
Curtains, most of the curtains in the school
Yeah.
are from student businesses.
Oh, like
And-
they produce
Yeah,
it themselves.
they do the designs
Okay.
and things that, as part of the creativity.
Okay.
And I can remember the one who even does it has donated back to the school.
Wow.
Based on businesses she got out there.
I like it.
But she's working.
Okay.
She's
You
running her own
understand?
business.
She's running her own business
Right.
and working for somebody.
I see.
That's a mindset we want students to.
Okay.
As I sit here, if I want to eat egg, then it must be from our student businesses.
Oh, your students run poultry farms?
Run poultry farms.
Is this alumni or present students?
They were in school when
Okay.
they started. 3 of them, and they are still together. You notice that sometimes even we do business partnership and then it goes away, but these ones, they are there.
Wow.
And they are still working together as graduates of the institution.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they are,
I like it.
again, they are working.
I like the intentionality where you are deliberately training your students to have business mindedness as they go into the world of work. What are some of the courses you run? And you mentioned that regardless the courses you teach, you are focused on entrepreneurship. Take us through some of the courses so we see in our minds where we could fit.
Yeah, so you can talk to the business fields. We have almost all the business functional areas,
Okay.
in addition to logistics and supply chain management.
Administration.
All the administration functional areas, we have it. So we also have logistics,
Okay.
as some of the latest added programs.
Okay.
We also have entrepreneurship and technology innovation,
Okay.
business technology management, and then we have the nursing department where you can have the BSc nursing.
Oh.
Midwifery is
Okay.
coming
You
on.
can talk of psychology, and I want a lot of people to look at this program because with whatever is happening in the world now, everybody needs to talk to the psychologists. Yes, so we need more of them, and that's what we should be going for that. Then we have the Bachelor of Ministry and Theology. We also have Community Development and Theology. So you have, I mean, like, remember we have said that we have the conviction created in God's image. So if we are living God's purpose, then we need to also serve our community. And that's why these programs, a lot of people should also pay attention to it. Then
Communications and media.
There's
a new program coming on.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Beyond that, we have the Center for Professional Studies. One unique thing again at Heritage is very simple. Whatever the degree program you are acquiring, you must try to add the professional. So by the time you finish school, you are chartered. And if you're a student, we give you a free opportunity, tuition, free, to get the professional certificate in alongside them. Yes. And then remember, we have our own TV station, that's True TV.
Okay.
So students have the opportunity to go through public speaking training, communication, and other things that they can do alongside.
I see.
And so far as you're a student, you have some of these advantages that you shouldn't let it
So you're giving them a holistic training.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of employers will tell you that, yeah, some of the graduates they employ, they are academically sharp, their grades are great, but they are ethically not well groomed, or they are unethical in their approach to things. And others to say that digitally they are illiterate as well. How have you positioned your school to address these through education?
Well, from the first day on campus, when students come in, we are talking about values, the 5 core values of Heritage. So we are very high on values-driven education, and we have 5 core values that infuse classes, infuse general assemblies that we do every week, that infuse all our co-curricular programs. These values are conviction. These are convictions rooted in the Christian story that they're a creator God and we are made in his image. There is character, which really speaks to what you were talking about, where character is formed on the values of honesty and integrity and truth-telling, those that are rooted, and humility in the Christian story. And then we have creativity. As we are created in the image of God, we are created to be creative. So we talk about that, we try to exhibit that. And the last 2 values that are very important to our understanding of what we're trying to do is community and compassion.
Community and compassion.
So forming community, caring about community, and showing that care in a way that lifts up and loves the neighbor as well as loves God. So our focus on these core values, I think, makes a big difference in the kinds of graduates that are coming out, because they've heard that education is more than just what you know,
right?
But it's about how you choose to live, how you choose to treat one another, and live in a way that's ethically upright.
Right. I love the sound of that, and thank you for the details you've given us. Are you running admissions? Tell me about admissions, right? If anyone is interested in coming to Heritage, is admission open? Yes, what I want.
Yes, thank you. So to our listeners, and to as you hear us, once you hear us, try and communicate to others, because when something is good, you don't have to keep it alone. Admission is in progress for the September intake. We're admitting students now.
Okay.
So we know that some of them couldn't go to school last year when the WASSCE results were released, and therefore, if you are there, admission is open. However, we know our young ones are writing the WASSCE starting this month.
Yeah.
So if you are writing the WASSCE, your parents, if you are there and your wards are there, for you not to miss the opportunity, you can apply for a ward as awaiting. It's very simple.
Okay.
You dial *719 *300 #.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. So that's how it is with regards to admissions being open. What are the entry requirements? And I think you've shown us how to apply. So just give us the...
Yeah, so entry requirements, certainly we take the 3 electives. You should have A1 to C6. And then we also take mature students.
Okay.
So if you're 25 years and above, you can come and write entrance exams.
Okay.
And we take top up those, so nursing and midwifery, those who have done diploma, you can come and top up. And then we also take the professional certificates.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me correct. If you want to apply, the code is *789 *300 hash. Yeah,
Okay,
*789 *300
I got that
hash.
correction.
Yeah.
Give us your contact as well.
Yeah, so if you want to locate us, when you go to the internet, Google, you just type Heritage Christian University College.
Oh, bring
You can
us
get
there.
it. Yes.
Okay.
And our social media handles, #Heritage Christian University, HCUC. You'll
Okay.
get this. Then you can dial 054 77 77 731. This one is very simple. So if I should put it again, 054
Yeah.
77
77731.
731.
We got that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let me take the final words from Nathan before you take leave of us. Dr. Nathan Bills, your final words. Why should we come to the Heritage Christian University College?
Well, I like to tell people that I'm not from Ghana,
Right.
and I wouldn't be in Ghana,
Right.
except that I think there's something very special happening at this university. I moved to teach because I believe in our leaders, and I believe that the innovative, creative approach that the school is taking is something to take note of
Right.
and to participate in. I would like to add just one more thing. We do run master's courses
Right.
as well, masters in business. We've got a master's in theology and ministry, Christian studies coming on, and we're developing those master's programs even as we speak.
Thank you for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us and sharing the amazing things you are doing at Heritage Christian University College. More grace to your elbows.
All right.
Thank you so much. So that was Dr. Nathan Bills. He's the Dean of School of Human Development, and Ebenezer Obobi Danso, Senior Assistant Registrar, Head of Admissions, Heritage University, Heritage Christian University College, Amasama. 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Side. Black Sharif and the Ghana Lotto Operators Association is calling all its members, the Concerned Lotto Agents Association of Ghana, CLAG, and all Lotto operators in Ghana to a crucial meeting to discuss licensing issues with the NLA. It's happening on Tuesday, the 13th of August, 2024. Time is 10 a.m. Tang Palace Hotel, Roman Ridge is where it's happening. All must make it a point to attend in the interest of the business. Thank you. Now, Core Event Solutions and MGA Consulting, in partnership with the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, brings you the National Sales Leaders Conference, and it's on the theme Sales Unleash, the role of sales in sustained organizational revenue growth and economic development. It's scheduled for the 14th to the 15th of August this year at the Accra International Conference Center. Time is 9 a.m. each day, and a special guest of honor is the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. National Sales Leaders Conference will focus on sales innovation, revenue growth, sustainable sales strategies, and sales leadership, especially curated for sales leaders to make transformative impact. For more information, please call or WhatsApp this number 0502 711 070. Visit www.nslcaqua.org to register. Yeah. Be part of the conversation on the 14th and 15th of August at the AICC for the conference organized by the Sales Leaders for Sales Leaders. It's supported by Telecel and Star Oil. So here is a big announcement from Breeze Ride App. It's the most affordable ride-hailing app in town, and their rides go as low as 15 Ghana cedis. People are using this app to refuel their gas. Now we've taken it to another level. Personal shopper is on the app. Whatever you want, just put it on the personal shopper on the app, and the app will send someone to buy whatever you want. They will confirm the pictures and prices, and your personal shopper will pay at the shop and bring them to you at home. So Breeze app is what it is. Go to the Play Store and App Store to download the app and try it now. Latex Foam is your partner for life. We have your relaxation in mind. Your comfort is our priority. Call us on 0302-231-155 or 0302-008-499. Visit us online, latexfilmghana.com. Have you powered your morning already? You need Twisco. It's the great tasting Twisco chocolate beverage in town from producers of Cowbell. Get to any shop, it's going for 1 cedi 80 pesos. That's how you power your morning. Twisco. This advert is FDA approved. Joining us in the studio for the news at 10. Good morning, Zoe Abubeidu Ado.
Good morning, Caleb.
How are you doing?
I wish I could say I was okay, but Ghana did not qualify. The men's relay team.
Oh dear.
So. But I'm okay.
You're fine.
Yeah.
That's
but
good
on
to know.
change. And I think they've been disqualified as well. So.
Too bad.
I mean, they were disqualified.
Too
but on
bad.
change, yeah.
But yeah, how's the mountainside?
Mountain
Side.
side.
You're cool.
It's great.
Cool. What's in the news?
Coming up.